This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in recreating the events. What you're about to see.
Sorting beads again.
It sounds unbelievable, but many people say that this man has uncanny psychic
abilities
which enable him to communicate with those who passed away, comfort those who mourn them. His name is George Anderson, and tonight we will examine his claims and witness an actual psychic session which has surprised us.
Just sorting beads.
In September of 1988, David and Cynthia Dellywave were shocked by the brutal murder of their 7-year-old daughter Jackie. 2 months later, their nightmare became a descent into hell, when authorities charged them with a crime. Also tonight, a heartwarming update. Thanks to our viewers, a woman has finally found her long-lost brother. Join me for their joyous reunion, another edition of Unsolved Mysteries.
What's going on there?
Could be because you're on a VPN operating at like 150.
No, Albania. Yeah. I have to. It's gonna be a while before I make another one. They gotta at least, like, wait until I sort these beads. They're gonna have to wait a day.
And you still got that painting.
I know. I have a lot to do. I have a lot to do.
In the last few years,
yeah, I gotta sort. Well, because that makes it easier.
So, like, I'll tell people around me that I'm gonna go blow up the bathroom. Lean beef patty, Jeff Nippard, and my personal favorite.
And I don't want to make it harder on myself.
With ease.
Feels like I'm drinking a big PVC. That's how thick these damn bars are.
And the majority of these guys are pretty harmless. They lift weights on camera, eat food on camera, and act gay on camera. And while there is some controversy regarding some of them, ultimately, most of these guys
hey,
are
Winnie.
but beneath the surface,
I am sorting beads.
Some of the less put together influencers
I have to sort
serious problems. A combination
so many
of serious
beads.
childhood trauma,
I have to
looming
sort
mental
these
health
beads.
issues, steroid use, and millions
And then
of
I
little
have to
fans
sort
is often a recipe
these
for career
beads.
disaster. So today, I'm bringing back an old series to discuss some of the most interesting cases and see where it all went wrong.
Up until I do my Whatnot show, you guys are going to watch me sort beads today.
You've basically got 2 options. You can either go to Mexico to just buy steroids over the counter, or you can order them off the dark web. Everyone calls it the sketchy part of the internet, but
So it is really entertaining.
In plain sight, through data brokers quietly collecting and selling your personal information every day.
I am being very entertaining today.
Compile reports like these on everyone, from all of your emails to current and former places you live, your relatives, who your neighbors are, and even things like if you own a boat. It's part of a disturbing industry that collects information from apps you use every day, which is then sold to these data brokers. And sure, you agreed to it, but that was buried in the terms and conditions. Millions of views on TikTok, where the brunt of his online activity could be found. His very first post to the account was in 2022, showing his physical transformation from his early teens to adulthood, now sitting at over 2 million views. But it seems like the clout he got from his online presence immediately made him feel like he could get away with anything, even violent crimes against another person.
Thank you. Roxy's
A
awesome.
female gym influencer who, at least now,
Thank you
is
so
even bigger
much.
on the platform than Henri. By 2023,
I
the two
very
had
much
gotten into a
appreciate you
relationship, but it
being
didn't take
here.
long
I
before
appreciate
things
everybody who
started
comes
going
around.
terribly wrong. According
Hangs
to
out
Charlotte's
with me.
court statements, the offenses against her
Thank
started
you.
in November of 2023, although in somewhat mild ways.
It started off very small with what I was wearing and who I could talk to, and then it went to
I definitely stream a lot. I just took a little bit of a break. Now I am back.
To get approval, I wasn't allowed to get
So
my nails done, my hair done, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. He was with me constantly 24/7.
I'm just kinda
He would come to the bathroom with me,
being
like,
lazy today. I'm watching my TV and
assuming that I did on
I'm
the
all
phone,
comfy
texting
cozy
The notable
and
and
I
particularly
am
egregious
sorting my
crimes only
beads.
happened in March of the next year. One of the incidents took place when, while they watched the movie, Charlotte tried to cuddle with Henri, only to get elbowed in the head and insulted. When she texted a friend to
But
come
yeah,
pick her up,
I,
Henri then pushed
since
her
it was
against
the
the wall,
holidays and stuff,
squeezing
I
her
took a little
throat,
bit of a
saying,
break.
"You're not going, I own you," which led Charlotte
I had to
think
finish
he
up
was
making
actually
dinner
going to
last
kill her.
night,
He
and I had to
proceeded
call my
slam her into
mom
a bed and
because it was her
strangle her, but
birthday.
fortunately, he stopped just short of going even
So that's
further.
why I
Now,
ended
a week
stream
prior to this, a very
yesterday.
similar, even if a lot less
I fell
aggressive
asleep
situation
really
also
quick.
took place, where Henri pushed Charlotte onto a bed and ripped off her pants.
I was getting ready to go to the gym with him, and I said to him, "Do you like my leggings?" And he like flipped off and got so angry at me. He pushed me on the bed and then just removed my pants. He was like, "You want to dress like, and I'll treat you like." And he had grabbed me by the throat and pushed me against the wall because I didn't let him have sex with me.
Thankfully, he didn't progress beyond that point, but that in and of itself already constitutes a pretty horrific image. Much later on, Charlotte posted a video showing screenshots of text messages with Henri, where he can be seen threatening to punch her, acknowledging and admitting he had strangled her, losing his mind at her because she had no phone service during a hurricane, insulting her for not responding while she attended her classes, and obsessively calling her hundreds of times. With these incidents only getting worse over time, Charlotte understood that these were a pattern and decided to get the police involved. While still recovering from the bruises from the strangling, she pressed charges against Henri, and although this led to his arrest and a protection order to keep her away from him, it wasn't too effective. Probably due to how well off his family was, with many of them being prominent cultural figures in Australia, he was bailed out instantly. But instead of being on his best behavior, he proceeded to attempt contact with her several hundred times through texts, phone calls, and social media messages, asking for her to not go to the police, declaring
What
his love
things?
for her, and even
Oh,
threatening to
good.
hurt himself if she didn't
Good,
take
I almost
back her
ate all of
statements.
them.
Now, reports on the exact
Well,
nature of
that
his
were
legal
mine.
status are a bit confusing,
I have
but
2
they
left
lead me
out
to
of the
believe that he
10.
was already out on probation
I ate
by the
quite a
time
few
this
of
assault
them.
with Charlotte took
I ate
place,
2
which only
today.
adds to how concerning all of this is.
I
found this
ate
newsreel about the case, and
2
in it,
late
they
last
include
night,
footage of
too.
Henri attacking and beating up the
They
boyfriend
were
of another one of his
buffalo
exes, which may be the offense he was already
chicken
facing
and an
legally.
egg roll,
How does
like
someone with
buffalo
this
wrap,
bad record manage to
or
get
buffalo
bailed out
dip,
and continue
chicken wing dip,
harassing
and an egg
Australia
roll.
bros, it might be over. Now,
Yeah.
during the 4-month period after the incident, Henri's
You are
side
hearing
of
Turkey
harassment
Tom.
was so
He is
intense that
talking
Charlotte
about
installed countless security cameras around her home,
bodybuilders
worried that he would
being
break in and try to
crazy.
kill her. It's uncertain when exactly these measures were taken, but it's possible that they happened after an incident in which 3 unknown men approached her as she went to the gym and carved the letter H onto her body.
My face smashed in. They ripped my arms open and got a brain blade and carved the H into my leg.
The first letter of Onwards tonight.
Yeah.
Probably in fear that
Yeah, it's
things
good.
like these would reoccur, she eventually gave up.
It's
and
good,
moved
I
away
make it
entirely to avoid it. Because of the
as
ways that he
often as I
breached the
feel like
protective order,
making
he
it
was
because
arrested and released
it does
3
get a little
separate
bit
times.
spicy
But in July
sometimes.
2024, Henri once again found himself breaking the law. During a road rage incident, he assaulted the driver of another vehicle and spat on his car, which led to his final arrest. Despite claiming to be a natural bodybuilder online, once he was in custody, his defense rested heavily on his steroid abuse as an explanation for his behavior, claiming that he was seriously addicted to taking gear from the ages of 16 to 21, and as a consequence of not being on it while in custody, he had lost over 40 pounds. On top of that, he was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, major depressive disorder, and bipolar, not to mention the fact that he made several attempts on his own life while being held. There were also mentions of him having a difficult childhood, suffering abuse from his mother, and needing to go through mental health treatment. Initially, these things...
Yeah, it's really good. It tastes really good. If you do the same type of thing with, like, taco meat and, cheese, it tastes just like an empanada. It's really good. Christian cut up a pineapple last night, and my mouth is going to be all messed up now. Again, because I like to eat like the rind part, like the fruit stuck in the rind part. So my mouth is going to be all messed up again. I just healed from the last time.
And is able to turn his life around, although only time will tell. While there's plenty of bodybuilders and notable fitness personalities who have, at some point in their life, resorted to criminality, very few have committed crimes as dramatic and notorious as Sally McNeil, so much so that she got her own Netflix original documentary. Born to the name Sally Dempsey in Allentown, Pennsylvania, she claims to have frequently witnessed domestic violence committed by her alcoholic father, Richard, which led her to have a very different personality and outlook on life than other girls. Over time, she joined her school swimming, diving, and track teams with an express interest in eventually becoming a gym teacher. She even went to college for that purpose. Unfortunately, at some point, she simply ran out of money and could no longer afford to continue her studies, so she opted instead to honor a family tradition, joining the military, specifically the Marine Corps, which also allowed her to pursue bodybuilding as a hobby. Now, this drastic change in lifestyle wasn't just professional. At the point that she dropped out, she had already gotten married and had 3 kids with a man named Anthony Loudon, who she promptly divorced before putting their youngest child up for adoption. This eagerness to radically change her life was an early sign that Sally wasn't exactly thinking straight from the get-go. Now, in the documentary, she implies that Anthony was abusive towards her, and I'm not discounting her allegations here necessarily, but I will say that the only record we have is of Sally being the aggressor, aiming a gun at him and breaking his car's windows with a metal bar. But, of course, it's possible that there was more going on behind the scenes that the public is simply not privy to. It's unknown what exactly kicked off her intention to completely rebuild her life, but it didn't take long for Sally's bodybuilding hobby to take over. She started taking steroids and taking part in professional competitions in the late 1980s, managing to get placements as high as 4th, as well as winning a couple of armed service championships. And this is when she met her future husband, Ray McNeil. Ray was also a professional bodybuilder, and as their relationship began, it further emboldened Sally's devotion to her own physique and bodybuilding career. But while she could balance her 2 careers pretty evenly for a while, eventually this took its toll on her work as a Marine. After reaching the rank of sergeant, her professional demeanor slowly but surely gave way to dysfunctional behavior, anger issues that turned into episodes of violence, concluding in Sally being demoted from her position and eventually discharged and banned from re-enlisting altogether. Ray decided to follow Sally's path in life, and by the early 90s, both of them were on their way out of military life and fully set on moving to California to make money from bodybuilding alone. Very little is known about the specific details surrounding this time period in Sally's life, but according to the documentary and testimony,
Not too many black beads, Christian, see?
They had very little money.
I don't think I'd be able to even make a Vivi with what I got in here.
Throughout her entire life, Sally had always
See,
had
look.
the problem of seeing domestic violence as a normal part of life.
Yeah, I got the other container that I'm going to be sorting.
It would continue to show up during her marriage to Ray. Her children, who have obviously been adults for a long time now, recount incidents of Ray punching her in the face and splitting her lip, breaking her nose and multiple bones, choking her, and even violating her sexually. She wasn't the only target of his violence either, as he once blinded an unnamed man he was having a fight with and frequently beat Sally's son John, especially when she wasn't around. If that wasn't bad enough, both parties had to resort to doing odd jobs they didn't really legs.
The box is sorted.
Sally took part in what's referred to as muscle worship sessions, where she wrestled with men almost
Yeah.
naked, sometimes on camera. This is not a funny euphemism for gooning either. It's actually wrestling. I have no idea why this was a thing back then. I thought this was just something that I did with the boys back home, but we try not to film it too often. But Ray McNeil, on the other hand, worked as a professional wrestler until 1994, a year prior to
Hey,
his
happy
death.
holiday stuff. How are
Apparently,
ya?
it was his work as a
I'm sorting
professional
beads.
wrestler that led him to have many affairs with
I've
other
been on
women,
Whatnot
which,
a lot,
in one
selling
instance,
cards.
led Sally to nearly beat a woman to death and then pull a gun on Ray, which caused her to be suspended by the National
Hope you're
Physique
doing well.
Committee for a year. Around the same time, she also got into a fight with a club owner and kicked him in the face before threatening
What
to
you been
kill
up
police
to?
officers who intervened. Clearly, Sally and Ray were not in their right minds. And once again, this dysfunction manifested as another transition period, this time for Ray. After placing 15th in the last Mr. Olympia he took part in and abandoning his pro wrestling career, he decided he would look for work as an actor and comedian while acting as Sally's bodybuilding coach. This active role he took on her professional bodybuilding only made them butt heads even more. And in 1995, this would come to a bloody
Oh, that's
conclusion.
nice.
As Valentine's Day approached,
Good
it became
stuff,
clear that
man.
Ray was once again having an
Good
affair,
stuff. I
which
hope
made
you've been
Sally concerned about
doing
cashing
well
his
with
TVs.
that.
And at the time, there was very little she could do because denying Ray intercourse could result in
Catch anything
Additionally,
awesome?
to try and fight back only made it worse, according to Sally, who said this. One time, when I hit Ray back after he brutally beat me, it made the beating worse. He broke my rib and punctured my lung. My military records have this injury reported. Now, it's important to note that these are claims made by Sally and shouldn't necessarily be taken as gospel just because she was a victim at one point in time. There are cases like that of Courtney Clenny, which I've covered in the past.
Aw, well, that's nice at least. Aw.
Although the crime itself has been documented,
Yeah, I haven't really been doing anything too crazy here, just doing my whatnot stuff, and as I said, I've been crafting a lot, so been doing a lot of this different stuff. So now I'm sorting these beads.
And she shot him twice with a shotgun in self-defense. Although Sally's kids were in the apartment when this happened, they were in their bedroom.
So that's about it for me.
But didn't actually see anything go down. Now, after Ray was shot, Sally's daughter, Shantina, saw the aftermath and ran to a neighbor for help, while Sally called the police and informed them of what had just taken place. Although Ray did survive until the police got there, he died just 2 hours later. This was a pretty tricky case because while what Sally did could be seen as excessive, Shantina testified in her mother's defense, saying she could hear Ray choking Sally, reinforcing that it was self-defense. Additionally, it's worth noting that Ray weighed over 100 pounds more than Sally, so pretty much anything else wouldn't have been enough to physically equalize them. However, no DNA from Sally was found on Ray, and forensic analysis concluded that one of the shots...
Well, yeah, at least it's warm. That's what's important, because it's been so snowy here. I imagine it's probably really snowy where you're at, too. It's been crazy weather-wise. We've gotten so much snow, and...
Thankfully, this story does have a somewhat happy ending, because after she was released...
What happened?
It said Iowa got 14 inches, and that's
Here's the
only
hoping
what they
that we're
get in
able
the
to put
entire
these...
year.
Yeah, I guess Iowa got 14 inches in the one storm, and he said that that's what they get in the whole year. No, not too bad. I mean, there are definitely places that are really feeling it, but we're used to it, though. We're used to it. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. We got about the same.
Connor Murphy himself was, if his autobiographical videos are to be trusted, a socially inept kid who got heavily into sports to try and brute force his way to the top of the social hierarchy at school. Eventually, he found his way to weightlifting and got into great shape by his senior year. But he found that his gains did very little to help his social awkwardness. He then got transferred to a boarding school for the academically gifted, thinking maybe he would find some friends.
Yeah, no, yeah, I could still read chat. It is. It's kind of funny. Doesn't even seem like we're really that far away, but it's pretty interesting here.
In the early 2010s, PUA, or pickup artistry, was huge, as as hundreds of thousands of kids with little to no ability to speak to women flocked to channels that claimed to teach them how to do it. And part of what they typically advised was to force yourself to become shameless and to get rid of any social anxiety, even if you had to pretend to be someone else entirely to do it. Well, that's pretty much what Connor proceeded to do on his YouTube channel, and with extremely great success. Eventually, his previous dedication to advanced academic pursuits, like studying computational maths in college, gave way to his more shallow and extravagant interests, such as his aforementioned YouTube success and a potential career in bodybuilding. But his bodybuilding dreams quickly fizzled out as it became clear that Connor's devotion to his physique was pretty much just so that he could flash it to strangers to get a reaction, and there was very little beyond that. But his YouTube channel continued to grow exponentially, as some of his videos got as many as 60 million views. But along the way, he also attracted some negative attention from commentary channels like H3H3, who would frequently comment on and criticize racy prank channels like Connor's.
Connor Murphy is my god. Connor Murphy is my god. I just want to. Connor Murphy, can you please take your shirt off? Please take your shirt off. Please take. My name is Connor Murphy. Let me take my shirt off. So I can get your number and bring your home.
And this is where the problem begins. Due to his original insecurity never really being solved and simply bypassed entirely, Connor continued to be completely incapable of handling criticism in a mature way. While he was getting away with his character flaw at the time because his channel was so successful, eventually the views started to plummet right alongside his mental health. Connor's lack of direction in life and the looming end of his online popularity led him to go on an ayahuasca trip that destroyed his mind and made him think he was smarter than everyone else. He then posted a video in which he, while still in a very mentally altered state, announced that he was going to take his own life. In this video, he also threw in some lies about his family and his early life, none of which are really noteworthy because he essentially proves himself to be a compulsive liar who just wants attention. Friends of his like Kenny Coe later made videos covering the situation and basically revealed that Connor was still very much alive. He had just been sent to a psychiatric facility. Apparently, the whole threatening to take his own life thing was a genius ruse from Connor, who thought that by telling a terrible lie to an audience of people who were rightfully concerned about his well-being, he was somehow outsmarting them or tricking them into enlightenment. He eventually returned to online content creation once he was released from the hospital, and despite trying to keep up appearances, he was still clearly delusional and acting as if he had found some secret of the universe that he was ready to impart to his audience.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Reaper in the meantime. And tried twice to get hair transplants.
Yeah, I heard from him yesterday, actually. Came in, but I guess he's been having issues with his friend Brandy. I guess, they're not getting along too well, and I feel bad about that. But no, I've heard of it. I've heard from him. Hopefully he's doing alright. Yeah, that happens.
Now, if you already feel like this story is
Lazy people, I know. It sucks. Yeah, feel free to complain. Feel free to complain, that's fine. I understand. Listen, I've had landlords before, and they're nasty. They don't do much of anything, so... Hey, how are you? Well, did something change out of that? I'm hoping that they're friends again. This happened like a week ago. Hopefully that they're friends again.
Eventually, he graduated to
Aww,
famous YouTubers.
love you. Oh, I hope she's doing good. I hope you're doing good too. I'm just sorting beads.
Fortunately, none of these stunts landed him back
Love
in the spotlight,
you.
and as he withered in obscurity and ate through what was left
Yeah, I'm
of his money,
sorting
woman
beads
named
over
Jane
here.
Conquest spent a few days at his Porter Hell House, basically documenting his self-destruction in real time. Between his house being overrun with trash, him doxing his own bank information on Instagram, and sending random people audio of himself using
I like them.
vocabulary, This really looked like
I love the
Connor was
Bears.
on again. But before he completely imploded,
The
he
bears are
published a
awesome.
book he supposedly wrote
They look
called
like gummy
Dellywave
bears.
from his
Those are my
first
favorite
PhD
kinds of
trip.
bears.
And it's all stuff about how he's too smart for his own good, and it's driven him insane. After a
I
few
know,
months
yeah,
of
they've known
testing
each other
and
for a while.
false
Hopefully they're
innocent
gonna be doing
allegations,
alright.
Connor went gorilla mode on one of his ex-girlfriends.
You know, friendships, they kind of go up and down sometimes. I understand that. Not everybody gets along all the time.
With as many horrific and funny outcomes as you could possibly imagine. So
It is what it is. You know, I'm sure that we've all had falling outs
basically turned into a professional steroid promoter
with
whose
our
chemical
friends.
experiments on himself and others have earned him the reputation of a mad scientist of bodybuilding. He's
I
also
love
been in a
Haribo
ton
gummy
of legal
bears.
issues, but the only thing that really makes him
Yeah,
relevant to this
yeah,
story
yeah.
is his relationship
I am
to
going
another
to be
YouTuber
doing
named Leo.
more whatnot stuff today. My show is probably at 7, right, Christian?
Another fitness-related content creator who was
Yeah.
with Tony Huge in time
So I'm gonna be doing that.
suddenly
Those are
passed away under
cute.
mysterious circumstances right before
Those are
Tony
adorable. I love the little French Bulldog one.
He was talking
Or the
about
Boston
moving
Terrier
away,
one.
and the pre-autopsy
He's
report
really
listed
cute.
the cause of his death as murder. So eventually, people in the online world turned their eyes to Tony Huge as a potential culprit. As his
Aw.
story about Leo's passing changed many times, and he eventually tried to suggest that Leo was assaulting some woman he was with, citing it as a potential reason why someone had him killed. Now, I'm not going to comment too much on the merits of these rumors, but to put it mildly, Tony Huge is a very eccentric and strange figure. And his
Sorting
controversy definitely added
beads.
more lore to him than I think even he wanted. But what makes it all the more concerning is that when Connor got to Thailand, besides his Ladyboy OnlyFans exclusives, he also made some videos where he seemed to be doing a parody of Leo. And at one point, he went as far as to reenact how his death went down. Now, at the time that this happened, a lot of people definitely gave Connor shit for it, but they basically ruled him out as a potential co-conspirator since he had never showed himself to be someone who was violent or aggressive towards others, even when he was completely out of his mind. However, this changed once he was reported as beating his girlfriend with a golf club in mid-2024. As information was released about this crime, people found out that the house was a complete wreck, covered in blood, because during their scuffle, she apparently struck back and left a huge gash on his midsection. Lastly, it was revealed that Connor and his girlfriend were living with her 16-year-old sister, which is definitely concerning to say the least. Now, since this moment, things have been relatively quiet for Connor, with him basically resurfacing to shill for Tony's questionable products, and that's about it. So far, it seems like things have normalized, even if I use that word loosely, although it seems like Connor's mind is so far
I
gone.
haven't ever
The best
really
we can
talked to
hope for
Brandy
is that
much.
he doesn't also end up like Leo, although at this point, my confidence level in him is pretty low. Now, as you've probably noticed, there aren't that many women occupying spaces on this list, mostly because the majority of people into bodybuilding are men. However, when women do fall into the same pitfalls, you can rest easy knowing that it's some truly deranged stuff. Case in point, Tammy Steffen, an unassuming mother of 4 who, as far as we can tell, had no previous history of doing anything illegal or even noteworthy. Besides being your bona fide soccer mom and housewife, she also either owned or worked for a business called Beyond Fit, which I think was both a gym and a small supplement brand, although both of them seem to have gone under after her legal issues. But beyond just being invested in a fitness-related business, Tammy had a personal investment
Oh, that's
and
cool.
devotion to it, as she frequently
Yeah,
took
I haven't
part in
really talked to her at
bodybuilding
all.
shows and even made some appearances
I just
on
haven't-
podcasts to promote her
haven't
lifestyle.
connected with her,
According to
you know, I
description
just-
here, she had been training and coaching athletes for
So
15
she's kind of a
years,
very
offering
neutral
services like personal
person.
training and
I don't
nutrition
really know
programs.
anything
There was
much
simply
about
no
her.
sign that Tammy was anything
So,
other than a health-oriented
hopefully they can
business
rectify
owner
it.
and bodybuilder. That is, until mid-2018, when almost 2 years worth of intense psychological obsession and delusion slowly
I need to
came
get back
about.
on
It all
TikTok
started
at
on
some
July 9th
point,
of
but
2018, when Tammy
there's
called the
never
sheriff's
enough
office to report that
time
someone had left a
in the
hitless
day.
doll on her front porch with a note which read, "New toy
So-
for kids." As you can imagine, this creepypasta scenario
But I would like
was
to.
extremely ominous for everyone who caught wind of it, especially since
I
she
really
lived in a
would.
peaceful city where this kind of thing simply
You know,
didn't
maybe
happen.
when I can
Within
juggle
1 week of
stuff
this
around a
bizarre
little bit
incident,
better, I
another
always
report
think
came
maybe
in,
I can
this
juggle
time
things
of an
around
attempted
more.
kidnapping.
Maybe
Around
I can
7
find the
p.m.,
time to do
a
things
Hispanic
more,
male between
but
5'6" and 5'9",
it's hard.
all
It's
black
hard doing
clothes,
everything all at
approached
once.
Tammy's 12-year-old daughter and grabbed her arm
Well,
while
and
she
it
was
sucks
outside
too
eating
because,
dogs in an attempt
you know,
to
I
take her
do
with him.
my whatnot thing, and I love doing my whatnot thing, so
and he scattered off into the woods. By the time Tammy called the cops
it's kind of hard.
with a loaded gun, he was long gone. But nearby, they found a laptop case with a
I keep saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, but there's just never enough time in the day to fit in everything. It does. It does. It takes up a lot of time. Same thing with my whatnot. I mean, I work basically a full shift on there, a full work shift. So there's just not enough time.
None of it actually happened. Every single detail about these supposed
because I spend like 8 hours on whatnot.
And Tammy had trained her daughter to recite it word for word, even pushing her daughter
You
to
know,
feed
and
herself so that the story would be more
it's a lot being on
Now,
camera
although
for
this
that
wasn't
amount of time
immediately
too. It's
clear,
just
the police overheard Tammy's daughter
I
ask
do my
what
best,
happened
but
if she told the truth, which immediately tipped them off that the two weren't being completely
You know,
forthcoming with law enforcement about what had actually
kind of a lot
happened. The final
sometimes.
nail in this story's coffin was when
You
they
know, I'm
managed to
very
get footage
blessed
of
to,
Tammy at Walmart
you know,
just
have
a
that
little
avenue
while
as
prior to the
well,
incident,
and
buying the exact laptop case
you
and
know,
blue notebook
with the
that
TikTok,
supposedly
with
belonged to the
everything, and
man
it's
who
just,
ran off into the
it's
woods.
hard to
This
juggle it
endless
all.
haul was also Tammy's own work, but since it didn't yield the results she wanted, she decided to
Hello,
double down
how
on
are
trying
you,
to incriminate her former
Six?
business partner. Just a few days
What's
after the
going
report was first
on?
made, Tammy was arrested on charges of filing a false police report, tampering with evidence, child neglect, and witness tampering. The last charge actually resulted from Tammy calling her daughter while in jail, instructing her into taking the fall for the fake kidnapping story. It's bad enough to do something like this on your own, but to involve your child is another level of insanity. But don't worry, the worst is yet to come. During the investigation, the police caught wind that, at least in Tammy's mind, the man she was trying to frame was somehow responsible for her losing an
Aw, well, I hope
prompted them to
that
see what she was up to on the internet.
your trip to the
Apparently,
store
for the
goes
previous
well.
2 entire years, she had been
I'm
systematically
doing alright,
cyberstalking
I'm
and
doing
harassing
alright.
6
I'm just
people,
sorting
one of
some
which was her
beads
former
here.
employer, with threats to their lives, their careers,
Just
and
sorting
their
some
families. It took a while for
beads.
law enforcement to coordinate and share the information they had, but once they did, they turned up with a total of 369 Instagram accounts and 18 different emails she
It's
had
spilling
created for the
everywhere.
sole purpose of terrorizing anyone who had wronged her. And her publicly available court documents reveal the extent and
Almost
gravity
messed
of
that
her
up.
obsessive harassment campaign. Although the names of
That
the
is,
targets from the
it is
crime,
very
Tammy's
nice for when
messages
you're
were
falling
public,
asleep.
and they would be kind of funny if they weren't terrifying. On
It
an
gets
account
warm.
called Midlife Annual, she wrote, "I just placed an order to roll with nothing
It
less than
definitely
nice
does.
things.
It gets
Car
warm.
destruction, haven't decided. I'm thinking a nice pile of human poop to begin with. Did you know you can default for dog poop, egg property, and so much more? Did you know it's not a crime at all? Do not want you shocked with the laws as the next phase happens. Once put acid on a girl's car with my ex-bestie, melted it to the ground, right in a high school parking lot. You might know who it is, but try to stop me. The wonderful thing is, I know the laws. I can move around like always. You are not very smart. I sat in front of a judge.
Yeah, I'm watching this thing on bodybuilders.
Taken right outside where they worked as a threat. Now, just so we're clear here, she is absolutely
I
lying.
guess
It's
this is some
definitely
crazy
not
lady.
illegal to throw shit on someone else's property. I don't know why that's a threat she was moving forward with, but regardless, this was just one person, nicknamed KB in the court documents. And as I said earlier, there were a total of 6 people. To someone labeled MX, she said, "I plan to slice you up into little pieces. Your blood I shall taste." And these are just the written messages. As she conducted
Hey, I'm from New York. How about you?
issuing death threats over phone calls
While using a voice disguising software.
Eventually, MX decided to call the number back, only to hear moaning because Tammy had set her voicemail sound to audio from an adult video. The funniest part is that the only reason the FBI was already onto her is because pretty much every single one of her targets knew she was behind it, because she would often just use emails and accounts under her own name to do this stuff. I assume that the frenzy and compulsion of her doing this prevented her from having very good OPSEC, but still, I don't know how she managed to get away with it for a whole 2 years. Ultimately, she was facing 1 count of cyberstalking and 1 count of interstate threats, each of which carried a maximum sentence of a $250,000 fine and 5 years in prison. By December 2018, basically a month after her court
I'm
proceedings
sorting
started,
beads up.
she pled
Sorry
guilty,
about
although
that, you
based on the
guys.
legal information available, she's been released on probation for a little while by now. So if you're in Florida, be careful when hiring personal trainers. You never know when one of them will threaten to cover your car in dog poop. Very few people fit the bill for the definition of a fitness degenerate more than Mr. Brian Johnson, the Liver King, a lifelong con man and habitual liar whose passion for fitness drew him into manufacturing his overnight online fame, only for it to tear his life apart. Brian's life prior to the Liver King is told over a series of tall tales.
Doing well. Yeah.
Actually happened. His childhood, he says,
Yeah, I'm
was
just doing that.
as his classmates would do
It's kind of precise.
and it got to the point he would no longer go to the
Which is
bathroom
always
or
cruddy, you know.
just to avoid socializing
I'm
altogether.
doing
During this period
good.
of his life, he was already exercising,
How
but it
are
took
you,
very
man?
much to help his catastrophic social life. So naturally, he started planning for the next best thing, killing everybody who picked on him at school. Not exactly the healthiest way to go about it, but regardless, this may just be an exaggeration, and the same grain of salt should be applied to the extent of the bullying he suffered. I say this because, according to Brian, he claims he solved his situation by showing up to school in
I'm
guest
doing
clothes
good,
and
too.
steel-toed boots. A few years later, he changed schools, and in one of the funniest turns of events, he felt left out because, in his words, they were too white. But at this point, he accepted that the way to make it was to simply put on another identity, which is pretty telling for the rest
Oh, that
of his
sounds
life.
nice.
Just like a chameleon,
How was your
he
dinner?
blended into his new social paradigm. Although at this point in his life, early shadows of the Liver King persona started shining through, as Brian was already pretty ripped and had shaved half of one of his eyebrows off. It didn't take long for Brian to go professional with the
Hey, sorting
and
beads.
unsurprisingly, he became a
Sorting beads.
Honestly, that's gotta be one of the more fitting
So,
jobs for a guy who is dead
I've been
set
making
on
little
being a
perler
con
bead
artist.
stuff for my
Regardless,
Whatnot
he started
account,
making
so
$100,000 a year. Eventually met his wife.
I be
married her, they started
working.
a supplement business together, had a couple of kids, and he was well on his way to being well off for the rest of his life. With nothing to really worry
That's
about,
all,
he started
that's
to enjoy
all.
his
Just
family.
working,
But the
working,
thing about
working.
dishonest, shifty people is that they're never actually satisfied. They always want more. It's just never enough.
Who?
Eventually, as his kids grew up, they started having some serious health issues, and this pushed Brian into getting heavy into
Wait,
what he
wait,
thinks
wait.
healthy living, which for him
Who got arrested?
It's the kid from Home Improvement.
The kid from Home Improvement got arrested? Wait, why?
The one that's based off of the Ha-Ha.
Yeah, I know, but why did he get arrested? Can you find out? Did he kill someone? No? Why do I think this is so funny?
So funny that his face is out on the news too.
I love that show. My stream didn't get it, but I really do love that show.
included eating raw animal parts. Based on the way he describes it, you would think that he slowly became the Liver King over the course of years.
Do you guys watch Haha You Clowns? Because when I played it on stream, a lot of my stream just didn't fucking get it, and they got mad.
With no sign of the Liver King-itis affecting
Well,
his
some
life yet.
people
It's
did.
only 2 years later, in 2021,
Not you guys. It doesn't apply to you guys. You guys didn't get mad, but other people did.
Insane size and randomly being featured by a massive fitness page on Facebook. Naturally, and I use that word loosely here since there's not very many natural things about Brian, people picked up on
It's
the fact
good.
that Brian probably paid for this video to get made and posted. Basically, this is the internet version of having a midlife crisis. Being a middle-aged
I'll play the rest of the episodes.
just wasn't enough anymore. He also had to be famous, and to do so, he tried as much as he could to run some kind of Andrew Tate operation and get people
They always get mad. 180.
This clearly
Listen.
effort was met with
Listen.
a lot of negative responses from people in the
I
fitness
just
industry.
realized, like, yesterday that y'all watch people literally count rice.
Focus on his area of
So to say that anything in my live stream is boring is absolutely fucking insane to me and stupid.
after he used the bathroom.
So I have now realized that I can literally just sit here
Which
and,
very carefully explains
sort
is
beads,
extremely unlikely, to say the
and
least. For a moment, it seemed like the public
if you guys are not happy about that, I do not know what else to tell you.
videos about him, where Brian was painted more as a harmless eccentric
That is what I'm on right now.
efforts of Joe Rogan, John
That is the
Oliver,
energy that I am
set the stage
exerting
for
right
his
now.
national
That is it.
Telling people that the
or exuding right now. That is it. You guys literally watch people count rice, grains of rice. So I don't feel bad anymore. No, you watch people that count rice. And I love hanging out with you too. It's not supposed to be about what I'm doing. It's that I'm hanging out with you guys. You know, and I love to be here. But yeah, after coming to some realization yesterday that you guys literally watch people count rice and snap each other, and you guys watch like these streamers snap their ball sacks and dickheads with mouse traps. You know, I think I'm doing okay. I don't think that you guys have any real right to tell me what I'm doing wrong. So now I'm not allowing anyone to bully me anymore, and I'm just gonna do what I want.
He took a bunch of hallucinogens in foreign countries, got a Netflix documentary made on him where he notably admitted to committing.
That's where I'm at right now. In my life. That is where I'm at.
Not to mention, he started to make threats on Joe Rogan's life, while also accusing him of being a fake Jew.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm literally at that stage. Duff, I've had it. Like, I'm just saying. I do my best. I do my best. I'm doing something really nice December 1st for Christmas. You guys are more than welcome to come and hang out with me then. I'm going to be getting on my computer. I'm going to be doing a lot of nice stuff. You know, like, I don't know what to tell you guys.
These days, you're more likely to catch Brian at Arkham Asylum rather than making YouTube videos at his $50 billion compound. Bernal Fox was a Caribbean-British professional bodybuilder whose most notable deed, besides obviously his crime, was getting 5th place in the 1983 Mr. Olympia. This is notable not only because
it's fucking crazy
he could get, but also because, in the opinion of many people, even today, that was an extremely unfair placement. With a lot of people even thinking he should have gotten first place and won the competition entirely. With a reputation for going exceptionally hard in the gym, he earned the attention and respect of possibly the most well-known bodybuilder of all time, Arnold, who remarked that Earl was probably going to win the 1983 Olympia. Although he continued to compete professionally after 1983, he never placed any higher in another Olympia championship.
I don't owe anybody anything. That's not why I do this. I don't owe anyone anything. I literally just want to be friends. That's it. That's it. That's all I've ever wanted. That's all I've ever wanted out of this, is just to make friends. That's it. I'm not evil.
Bernal was described as something of an immature loner with low self-esteem, and at least partly, this was due to bullying he suffered when he was still in school, some of which had to do with how short he was.
Like, not an evil person. I just want to make friends. I just want things to be normal. I just want things to be nice.
However, considering how he ultimately turned
I don't feel like I should put on some insane facade about how I'm supposed to be living my life around people that already know what's up. Like, I feel like at that point, that's Grifter City. Like, I don't want to do that. You know, like, that's it. I just, at this point, I can't be nuts. I'd rather you guys watch how I live my daily life and hang out with me in my daily life, and that's it. I'm not here to be fucking insane. So, and I've been, to be honest, like, I've been really worried, like, that you guys just don't like me. Like, a lot of you guys, I worry that you guys really just don't like me. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about certain people, and then I just needed to give it a break. It really kind of fucked up my whole mental state. You know, like, you guys can understand that, right? Like, not trying to be a bitch. I never did. I never tried. Like, all I ever wanted out of this, again, was friends. Having fun.
Now, this is when Bernal's story diverges from that of pretty much every other person who witnessed this go down. including his best friend, Edmund Tross, who had every reason to be partial to Bertle over Leoka. According to Bertle, when he arrived at the place Leoka was at, her mother, Violet, started taunting him with a gun he had left with Leoka. A scuffle then took place as Violet attempted to push Bertle outside, causing him to accidentally discharge the weapon at Leoka and then at Violet. But Leoka's body was found outside with a gunshot wound.
I'm sure.
But even if that
And luckily that makes up quite a few of the people that view me. So thank you.
But there's another
I really appreciate that leniency on you guys. I really appreciate, I appreciate the patience. I appreciate you guys, being decent. It can be. It's a lot of stress on somebody. Having to hear somebody complain all the time, constantly, makes you not even want to do it and just be like, you know what, fuck it and fuck you, I don't want to live like that. I don't.
It was discovered that the reason for Leoka and Bertle's argument was a $1,500 wire transfer.
But when you push somebody so hard, then they're not going to want to do it at all.
Which is what Bertle had gone there to confront.
Leniency is awesome with with content creation and things like that. Leniency is important. I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm not a complete professional with this.
Death by hanging, which is apparently mandatory.
There's going to be days where good content's going to be in great supply, and then other days, you know what? Things might suck. That's fine too. Aw, well, no need. Every day's a deli party with you guys around. I love hanging out with you guys, and you guys know who you are. I'm not at all trying to be a big weenie about it, but I'm just saying, it's, sometimes you feel kind of unappreciated, when you work so damn hard, and then you're just like, well, fuck, makes you just not want to do it anymore. And I'm always transparent with you guys, I really am. I try to be. I try to be really transparent about that. I mean, you guys have seen me cry. You guys have seen me freak out. You guys have seen me upset. It's what happens. It's been a lot less of that. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because I haven't been here. But I hate that. So I'm not going to listen to all that crap anymore. I unblocked the grand majority of the people who have acted in that way, and you know what? They haven't even came back. So it's fine. I don't hate anybody. Never did. But if I'm not your type of person, then I'm not your type of person. And that's fine too. Go watch someone else. I am a real person. I always was. That was the whole bit, I guess. With Stream Stars. I've always been a real person.
Was because he assaulted and robbed some guy who owed someone else $5,000. After that, he got addicted to meth and proceeded to spend 7 years in a low-security out-of-state prison, which he has since continuously lied about, saying he was actually...
Doesn't mean that anybody really has to like me either, I guess.
When he came out, he briefly worked as a personal trainer.
If you want fake, see fake. It's out of my control.
Being the criminal-minded con man
right.
He proceeded to come up with a variety of...
Shouldn't have to get to that point. Just time him out. They could think about what they do.
Usually mixed with stories he probably heard from other people while in prison.
See you, dog. You have a good one, okay? Visit me more. I'll be around. I'm going to be streaming more on YouTube here. But it's a lot easier doing that on my phone, so I don't have that temptation of copyright restrictions.
Where he screams at his audience about how they're all beta males.
Because I always have that threat. I'll see ya.
Of course, he doesn't make $2 million a month.
It's always nice having you around, man.
And the women he's seeing are probably the only thing he actually pays for. But apparently, he pays them for more than just taking pictures on Instagram. According to some of his exes, but mainly his ex-wife,
but, it's just been...
And on occasion, when he's in a good mood, he has them peg him to remember the good old days of prison. Additionally, he missed prison so much that he decided to hit other people besides his girlfriends to see if he could get back in there, after making a public invitation to any hater of his to fight one-on-one. When one guy showed up, Wes invoked 4 or 5 of his sunburned and overweight cronies to hit the guy with dumbbells and kick him in the head after he was down, like a real man. After the fact, Wes started falsely claiming that the guy approached him and initiated the fight, and said that he only fought back because the guy was a 7-foot monster, as he put it, and the guy was definitely not 7 feet tall. I understand why he'd say that, though, given that Wes is 5'8" and extremely insecure about it, going as far as to wear massive lifts in his shoes to look like he's 6 feet tall. Regardless, the incident between Wes and the 7-foot monster was inspired by Mike Van Wyck recently assaulting Jeff Nippert in the gym. Because, actually there's not that much of a good reason other than the two disagreed over lifting styles. If that sounds ridiculous and childish, it's because it is. But of course,
It might get
Wes
there, it might
was the
not.
first one who ran
I
to
mean,
his defense.
So you guys,
I might never get there. That's fine. That's the risk you take when you stream.
pushing some keyboard warrior princess.
You know, I don't have a lot of people here. You know, I'm kind of like a little hidden gem, I guess, for those who actually do appreciate me being around. You know, I try to be a constant. I try to engage with people. It's the best I can do. If people don't like it, if people don't want to catch on with it, then that's out of my control. I can't make people do anything, and it sucks. You know, I'd love for more people to come in here and hang out. I would love that. I think that would be absolutely awesome. But you know what? It hasn't happened. I wish I could have more money. Why do I wish I could have more money? So I could do more stuff for the stream. I do my best. I do exactly all that I possibly can do. And that's it. That's it. That's all I can do. You know, again, I wish I could do more. You know, and like, for example, oh no, we don't need any more of that. You know, I wish I wish that was never even a thing. I really wish that wasn't even a thing.
Likewise, Wes is likely going to get into some trouble sooner or later, if not for the scammy way he runs his personal trainer business, then for the extremely...
You know, I wish that people could just be genuine and support me and hang out with me and want to be here and not make some mockery of the fact that I'm a woman or that I can't have kids or whatever. It's just dumb. It's just dumb, and it just sucks.
And on top of that, Alexis herself seemed normal. Just a woman who ran a health and fitness business in the suburbs.
But you know what? People are going to be that way, and they're going to be shitty, but that doesn't mean I have to be. So, you know, I just do what I got to do.
Around 2007, she started offering...
You know, I am in no way, shape, or form in control of what these people do. I've already expressed how I feel about it. And if they want to continue being crazy, that is completely out of my control. That's a reflection on them, not on me. But it's isolating. It is, I will say. It is a little bit isolating when I try to expand myself out, and yet there are people like that. So, it's what I'm going to try to do, you know.
These recordings were part of Mark's
best I can do.
100 miles away in his office kept footage of everything that went down, which most
well, what else can I? Yeah, what else can I do? What else can you do? It's a reflection on them, not on me. But it is isolating when you try to stream other content and these people keep spamming, keep acting insane. Sure, it's going to get tiring and it's going to get depressing, and then I'm not going to want to come on here. That's what happens when you constantly push somebody. Like, that is what happens. They're not going to want to keep doing it. So therefore, you know what? I guess all the fun ends. But I think it's a little bit more fun when I'm happy and doing things and I'm actually around. And that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just be around, and hopefully things will just
worth noting
Calm
that
down.
one of these men was named as a client on both days. How good was the Zumba pussy? The Zumbussy? Zumbussy? How good was it? I need to know.
Strikes 12. Midnight arrives.
Anyway, they went on grinding away guerrilla style for years, and in the meantime, she married a guy named Jason, who may or may not have been one of her clients. Additionally, she got herself a natural sciences degree. Good on her for not putting all of her eggs in one basket, even if about 150 men are putting their eggs in her basket. But like all great criminal minds, Alexis got a little too bold, a little too reckless with her illicit activities, and it ended with her capture. I'm assuming with the intention to make even more money, Alexis rented out yet another office space and started publicly advertising her massage services on a website called
People have limits.
Work by Lydia. And although the name was obviously fake, there was a picture of Alexis posing with a teddy bear that was unmistakably her. If that wasn't bad enough, she started posting hundreds of not safe for work videos and photos online with no
You know, and if I know it ruins the bit, but if I received an apology and, you know, or at least like some sort of like information, you know, like about why this is going on, like it could make things a lot easier. But if it's some joke that only one person is in on and I don't understand it, you know, like it's not gonna end well.
It got to a point where she was basically bragging about the stuff
For me.
that she posted on a blog.
Because as I said,
that was
I'm just not gonna.
saying, I live in a small
But
town
there's no
and
bit.
have my own dance studio.
There's no bit. There's nothing there. It's only to one person.
With many of the married men locally, and it is satisfying
So there's
to know
no
that they're
bit.
helping them with what they are not getting at home. If only the
There's
women knew.
there's
On her
nothing.
Facebook page, although the majority of the posts were exclusively related to her normal life,
It doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense to one person. So how is it a bit that anybody understands?
Asking Alexis out wrote a comment which read, she was clearly putting it out there that she might be.
But even if I had some insider information and I was like, all right, I get it. And even if this is explained to me, I wouldn't condone it. I'd be like, can we do something else? Can we do literally anything else?
For years is genuinely beyond me because her OPSEC was non-existent.
But for things to be funny for one person and then having like the main person who they're doing this to just outrightly just not be around, I don't see how that's fun.
Decided to do what many others had already done. Look her name up. I'm not going to go over what he found in detail, but in the video he saw, he noticed that the footage had been recorded on his property, which must have
I think that's what everybody's saying.
This was just one of many compounding reports of people who were noticing what Alexis was up to. And when this information made its way to the police, they began investigating. The initial assumption was simply that she was producing adult videos, but quickly
Like, I've said this how many different times, you know, like,
the first people who were completely in the know about Alexis's side business were high school boys who, due to being internet savvy, were not only aware of it, but had its existence turned
I've
into a
warned
joke amongst
everyone.
themselves. When the police finally caught up, they conducted a search for properties, finding a bottle of Astroglide, 4 bottles of baby oil, 9 cameras, multiple laptops, DVDs.
But it
hard
sucks
drives,
having to dread something that you love.
surveillance glasses, night vision goggles, and most importantly, a series of spreadsheets containing detailed information about every single
At least
encounter she had
mentally.
with clients, with their email addresses and phone numbers attached to the money she made off of them, and hours worth of footage of all of them in action. And again,
At least
like all
mentally.
great criminal minds, she only got in really hot water when the police ran the numbers and found out she had been lying to the IRS to keep getting child support and food stamps. Like a wise man once said,
I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but the IRS, no, thank you.
once the police discovered the connection between Alexis and Mark Strong, both of them were arrested. Not only was their financial connection discovered, but they also turned up footage of both of them going at it in every way imaginable. Although apparently he got the services for free. Alexis was initially charged with 106,000
But I'm just as much in the dark about all that as you guys are. As I said, it's no reflection on me. I'm not the one telling this dude to do that.
Violation of privacy and conspiracy. conspiracy. It wasn't looking good for either of them. What's even more shocking is that Mark turned out to be a private
As I said, I was scared to even make content with my Nintendo Switch, thinking that, wow, you know, there are going to probably be some really cool people that come in here and are just scared away. I was almost thinking, is that what you guys really want, to isolate me so much to where I can't even grow my stream? You know, and that's kind of unfair, so you know what, I figured I may as well not even give you a stream at all. Yeah, sure, that was my outlook on it. I won't lie. I've just been upset. Which I'm sorry for those who don't, you know, do any of that to contribute.
Having 49 of his 59 charges dismissed, getting convicted on the remaining ones, and serving just 20 days in jail, as he managed to prove he wasn't profiting off of the business. Alexis somehow also managed to get 80 counts of her charges dropped, being sentenced to pay $58,000 in restitution and 10 months in jail, of which she only served 6. Besides them, 68
What can you do?
clients were also charged, but due to the sensitive nature of the situation, their names
People
and
just try to
charges
rob
have
the
been
joy out of
released
shit,
as
so
far
you
as
know
I
what?
know.
Then I just don't enjoy it anymore.
Craig Titus was a highly accomplished bodybuilder who placed as high as 11th in the Mr. Olympia, while Kelly Ryan
And I'm
won the
sorry.
Miss Fitness
Once again, I'm
America
sorry
title
for
and the
that.
Fitness Olympia competition, becoming one of the most decorated female fitness athletes of her era. For a while,
Yeah,
they
remember
were
when I
very
used to
unique
play
in that
Roblox
both
and
of them
hang
were
out?
bodybuilders,
And
which
it
made
used to
them
be
something
really,
of a
really
high-profile
mega,
couple
super
in the
duper fun.
bodybuilding world. Frequently
And
appeared in magazines
then
and other
people
media.
just, all that
Beyond
they
their
ever did would
glamorous
just be
lifestyle,
complain
both
and
Craig
bitch.
and Kelly
And then make me
struggled
feel,
with
and then I
substance
stopped
use
doing it.
issues, not only involving the obvious steroid use, but also the use of
It's what
prescription
happens.
painkillers, coke, and meth. Additionally,
But you know what? I'm not listening to that anymore, and people can just leave if they don't like it. I will be very, very honest about that. You don't like something? Then go. Fine, leave. You know, like, that's it. That's how I feel now. And I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. And I don't like telling people to just go, because I'm usually the person that'll just say, oh, well, I'll just go. You know, I'll do you the favor. You know, but no, fuck you, just go if you don't like it. You know, that's what I'm gonna do now. I don't know what else to do. I need to protect my own peace. But I'm not gonna get anywhere in the streaming world if I'm not on. You know, and I've been doing really good. At least I thought I was. Then there's just bumps in the road. But I'm not going to get anywhere if I just don't do it. But nobody has to watch me. I don't have a gun to anyone's head. And I don't tell anybody, oh, you better watch me or else. That's crazy. If you don't like something, don't watch it. I've never heard of people just outrightly just bitching like that over something that they can voluntarily, or just you can just turn it off or go somewhere else. It's crazy to me. I don't do that with other people, you know. That's nuts. It's nuts. Again, y'all watch people count rice sometimes. You know, it's not like the big thing in Fish Tank, the rice counting. You know, but some people like to do that too, I guess. But again, the rice counting, it's a big thing. Alright, then you guys can watch me sort beads and I'll talk to you. You know, like that's really where I'm at now. It is. It's even ruining it for themselves, and they don't even understand that. They're really that dense. They're really that fucking stupid to where they don't even understand that. Then if I'm just not there, then they don't even have an outlet to just be any type of way. Then they have to find somebody else. You know?
Forensics found that
So they're even ruining it for themselves.
And an investigation of Kelly and Craig's home found evidence
Which
of
is
a
dumb.
taser discharge. In an attempt to try and salvage
Because
clear
the thing
murder,
is
the
that
couple
I'm not
burned
hungry
the
for
down
attention.
Melissa's throat to try and make her
I
death
could
seem
literally
like
just leave.
Obviously,
Like,
that
that's
didn't
what these
work,
people
and so
don't
they moved
understand.
on to try
I
and
literally
destroy
could
the
just go.
evidence. It didn't take long for Craig and Kelly to be found in Boston, be extradited back to Vegas, and
Isn't the whole thing a
prosecuted.
humiliation
Within half a year
ritual
of the body's
180? Isn't that the whole
discovery,
point?
Craig pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to up to 55 years in prison, while Kelly pled guilty to arson and battery with a deadly weapon, getting 2
What's the
consecutive
difference
terms
between
that
that and
add up to
literally
13
anything else?
years
It's
in
all the
prison.
same.
As of 2017,
Hey,
she was released
Bunzer.
on parole, which is pretty
That's why I
surprising
didn't
considering the
do an
gravity of her
audition
crime.
thing for
Even more
season
concerning is that
5.
while Craig remains in prison, he'll be eligible in 2026. So soon enough, both of
I'm
these
not a
criminals
wildcat,
will
wouldn't
be free
fit.
again. Like many of the other people on this list, and it seems like it's a pattern with criminals in general.
Well, I plan on
Australian
selling
bodybuilder Mark Rodney Jones
what I'm
is a
sorting.
repeat
You know, I
offender
plan
who,
on
by
using these
unfortunate
colors
turn of fate, was
and
freed
selling
for his
things.
first
I
crime,
don't do
despite
anything
being
out of being
heinous
dumb.
and unspeakable in nature. All the way back in 1997, when Mark was in his early 20s, he brought a 17-year-old girl with him to a secluded
But what's
area
funny?
after they had
Normally
danced at a
jokes are
party.
funny,
When
so
the
what's
girl
funny?
expressed that she didn't want to take it further, Mark did not accept it and proceeded to strangle her almost to the point of death while assaulting her.
Again,
viciously.
I guess
Although
I'm
never
just the
afraid
old
to go into
lady
any further
that has
details
no
due to how
concept of
gruesome the
memes
situation was.
and
When it
meme
ended,
culture
he said,
and all that.
"I'm sorry, I can't believe I just did that," as if that improved the situation at all. The very next day, he was interviewed by the police and charged, and a few months later, in early 1998, he was
What?
set to show up in court, but instead, he attempted to flee justice. Fortunately, he was found, extradited, and brought
Great,
to the process,
Christian.
pleading guilty to his charges and reiterating his apology, adding that he himself was a victim of a similar kind
What?
of violence. Now, on one hand, there is something to be said about the cycle of abuse that happens with people like this. It is, in fact, common that
Isn't
people
the whole
who
thing
victimize,
pointless?
especially in their youth, will go on to victimize others when they are an adult. But that obviously doesn't excuse
Just wondering, I know that
So
ruins the
what
fun,
with
but
that level of lack of impulse control
isn't the
is
entire
exactly
thing
the
like
kind of person
mega
who should be
super duper
locked away,
pointless?
separated from society for good. It's especially concerning since just a few years prior, in 1995, an almost identical situation took place. And although he was found guilty, his conviction was thrown out due to issues
No,
with
life
jury,
isn't
resulting
pointless.
in him serving only 13 months of jail time. Sadly, we don't live in the kind of
Life
world
is
that
about making other
appropriately
people
handles
around
these
you happy
situations. Not only
and
did Mark
and
manage
leaving
to get away
things
with it
better
in
for when
1995, but his
than when you
1998
last went in
conviction
it.
only earned him a sentence of 5 years in jail. To make
Before
things
you
even
were
more
here.
absurd,
Life
while
isn't
still in
pointless.
jail for a conviction of a crime that egregious, some
Life
women
is about
actually
making other
decided
people
to marry
smile
him while he was locked up. Keep in
and having
mind,
good
we haven't
things
even
happen.
gotten to the crime Mark committed while he was
Enjoying
an
the
active
sunshine.
bodybuilder. The
Doing
sheer
nice
sequence
things
of
for
events
other
here is
people.
just unbelievable. This guy, after having been found guilty of 2 of these crimes,
Living a life
we
that
know
can
of,
make
thought it was a good idea
other
to make a
people
career
inspired to
of
live
blasting
their
steroids.
life nice.
But it appears that despite having made appearances
Life
in
isn't
some
pointless
bodybuilding
at all.
contests, and apparently being convicted
I
of
don't think
smuggling
that at
steroids
all.
in 2014,
I do have
his
to
bodybuilding
disagree with
legacy
you
never really
majorly
went
on that.
anywhere. And as far as we know, during the few decades after his release, he didn't actually rehab.
That's what makes it
However, in 2017,
worth living.
this would change, although he wouldn't simply go back to committing.
Sure, it's goofy. We all live on a big hurling rock in the middle of outer space. Sure, you know, that's goofy.
The reason being that he was just
But it's
about
not
to
pointless.
sell, and as a result, he was offering a $5,000 reward to anyone.
Yeah, yada yada yada. You can say that, you know what, but there's a lot of good people. The only reason why you ever pay attention to that is because the bad things that happen are the things you choose to remember the most. There's a lot of good people who live a long, long life, a long, beautiful life that do really good things. But people choose to remember the bad things. That's your own mind.
It's unknown whether Mark actually lent him the vehicle and never got it back, or if
That's
he
you
just
trying to
guessed
validate
Bradley's money.
every
Mark's
single
previous crimes,
circumstance
while horrible, were also
of that shit happening.
but this time his crimes
That's
seemed
not
to be
always the truth.
premeditated. Mark was sending his friends
Sure,
texts
there's a
about
lot of
Bradley
tragic
and
shit.
saying
Childhood cancer.
usually
Terrible.
just mean they're gonna beat someone up when
You
they say
know,
that,
like,
but Mark had
but
much
people
more
can get
insidious
sick
intentions.
at any
In
time.
another text
Life is
message, he
fallible, and you have to
specifically
enjoy
said
the
he's
things
going
while
to
they're
die
here.
and be brought back to life many times over. This was not
Sometimes
the
God
best.
calls somebody
This was
home because there's nothing more that other people need that they need to do because they've already done it. Do you realize people spend their whole lives, could spend their whole lives years and years and years, not knowing what love is, not knowing all the good things. And somebody could find it out really early, you know, or some people could just suffer for 80 years. Maybe that is the curse. But do you see it that way? No, because you choose not to. God gives everybody all the time that they need.
Of course, Bradley didn't say anything about the car's whereabouts, and it's likely because he was simply innocent of the car theft. Eventually, Mark and Bradley murdered this 22-year-old kid, although their intention was to continue waterboarding him until he gave up the car. When they realized what they had done, they attempted to give him CPR, and when that failed, they simply...
I know a lot of people who've lived a really long life that were great people.
The police had a pretty easy time connecting Mark to the crime, as he had basically made no effort to try and maintain his innocence. It's legitimately hard to understand.
It's not our place to even judge. We can't. We're human too. And somebody could be a complete asshole to you, but be great to other people. Not everybody's going to see a life the same way that you will. As unfair as that is.
Despite his lack of concern with proving his own innocence, he tried to plead not guilty, which was shut down when a witness came forward.
People get all the time that they need, regardless of what you believe in. People have all the time that they need.
He was unanimously found guilty, and although he cried, he continued to express no remorse, even as his partner and the mother of one of his children became desperate at the verdict. Soon after, Mark Rodney Jones was sentenced to 22 years in prison, although he'll become eligible for parole in just 13, partly because it appears the jury was not made familiar with his past criminal history, which is downright insane in a case as wild as this one. Ricky, on the other hand, got 10 years and parole at 6.
I believe from the second that you're born, there's a counter. It's not always fair. You're not always going to like it.
Even among steroid users, ultimately the only person that
but that's why you have to enjoy things while they're here and people while they're here.
The people we've discussed today have ultimately
and the stuff that people have given us and other lives have given us.
Just for a chance to be happy and do right by the people around them. Unfortunately, many simply don't learn until it's too late. I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching. And until next time, bye.
Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. As much as one might hate it. And you can hate it, and you can. And that's okay.
Thank you. Alright, we'll see what we can do with this. I appreciate it.
Well, there's no shortage of reasons for Daniel Larson to be put behind bars.
There's no shame in anything in hating it or thinking that anything isn't deserved or something isn't deserved or whatever, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You're allowed to have feelings.
He posted this to his YouTube channel.
If I don't get the documentation,
but I'm just saying
that I'm trespassed, it's all a fake.
This video was actually uploaded twice, under the titles Hotel Security, claiming that I am trespassed without legal proof or paperwork by law enforcement, and Daniel Larson getting threatened and harassed by hotel security at Denver International Airport. Given his propensity to go to places like airports and malls to sleep or score some food, they're the most likely cause of this violent incident. The only additional information about the lead up to this was text posts on his TikTok where he claimed to be working with the FBI against his trolls, and that he had $600 stolen from him. Although he was officially booked the same day, it doesn't look like he was kept in custody for any significant amount of time, meaning he was let go with a warning. A warning that he didn't listen to, as on the very next day, he went right back to the airport so that he could go to the Canvas Credit Union to see about his bank account being drained by DLR Records and Entertainment. As you can see, the initially claimed $600 turns into $950 in a single day. How violent are these interest rates on Danderson? In reality, this is the same fake banking app he's always used to make this kind of post. But usually, it's to get people's sympathy and donations. This time, it seems like he actually tricked himself into thinking he was getting his real bank account drained, which led him back to the airport where he'd already been threatened with being trespassed, like a moth to a flame. The only archive of the live stream he did on the 9th comes from the YouTube channel Larcenian Institute, which gave context for the footage in the description. At approximately 4 p.m., Daniel was at the Canvas Credit Union inside the Denver International Airport, claiming that his original intent was to get a debit card. During the live stream on TikTok, there were 3 people visible. Daniel was seated in a chair, charging his phone and streaming, while a police officer was standing before him, along with airport security and a female who appeared to be working for the bank. Earlier in the stream, Daniel says multiple times, "I'd be more than happy to just leave," and the officer claims that he was already asked multiple times to leave and didn't comply. During the interaction, Daniel mentions his probation, and it's discussed that the officer will tell Daniel's probation officer what will happen. It is not known why the police were involved in the incident. From the footage of the live stream, Daniel surrendered and ended the live after the officer asked him to stand up. Meanwhile, if you take a look at the footage itself, we find out just how bad Daniel's legal situation already was at this point.
So in addition to the 2 warrants that we're going to take you on today, you have 3 additional warrants that are unextraditable out of Denver that you need to go take care of.
I am aware.
Okay, so that's 5.
And then I was also, like I said, I came here to the Canvas Credit Union because I had
I'm
to.
going to tell you that's not going to apply today. Airport office is going to explain that to you. Keep going over that piece of information.
While the airport security officer later mentions that Daniel won't be charged with trespassing for having gone to the bank without a boarding pass, the police officer mentioned a total of 5 warrants on Daniel that aren't extraditable out of Denver, meaning his presence in an airport could indicate a flight risk. Interestingly enough, Daniel is only acting calm during this stream because he eventually uploaded a few videos of the moments preceding it where he was arguing and trying to justify him being there to the officer.
I just did business here. I'm waiting. What? I was at the Canvas Credit Union. I don't know why you are treating me this way. I went to Canvas Credit Union.
You have ID on you?
I do.
I can see, please.
But I don't need it.
I'm more than happy to leave. I'm not passing security.
Okay? And you chose not to. So we're going to invite you to trespass.
I don't need a trespass. Like this is straight up harassment. I would be more than happy to just leave.
We will address that here in a minute with one flood of business.
But I did come from Boulder, Colorado, because I had another appointment, and then I went. I'm not obligated to say.
No, it's not. This was here.
And then I came here. No. And then I have another meeting tomorrow back in Boulder with my probation. I'm not obligated to say.
This is part of conditions of your probation.
I am on probation for trespass from a different location for a misunderstanding.
As the officer calls it in, he mentions that they were in the airport's chapel and not the credit union, meaning Daniel probably hurried to the chapel when he saw the officer coming for him in an attempt to hide. When this didn't work, he started telling the officer that he was on his way to court anyway, which, if it's not already clear, is an absolute lie. If he's on his way to court, why is he at the airport? It's funny how he randomly rats himself out for being on probation for trespassing while he's trying to convince this cop that he wasn't trespassing this time. Following the incident, Daniel's record in Denver included 2 offenses: failure to appear in court and destruction of private property, with a court date scheduled for late January. His bond here is listed at being $500, but it appears he was released on a personal recognizance bond, which is when a defendant is trusted and expected to appear in court and abide by whatever bond conditions are offered. I think anyone remotely familiar with Daniel can attest to this being a terrible mistake.
My inspiration behind this haircut, I wanted it to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger got struck by lightning, just like Albert Einstein.
After his release, Daniel immediately took to social media to try and recontextualize what happened, making himself look like the victim of persecution. During the stream, the officer informed Daniel that the reason they knew he was holed up in the chapel was because another guy in the chapel had flagged him. You can imagine how easy it must have been to notice a stinking and unkept Daniel Larson trying to hide from the police in the same room as you. In an attempt to get revenge on this guy, he secretly recorded a video of him and uploaded it under the title, "This crazy mentally ill person called the police on me and got me trespassed and arrested today." In the video, the guy seems to exhibit some Tourette tics, which may be why Daniel described him that way. A few days later, Daniel made a flurry of posts to his YouTube to update his loyal following on his legal status.
I missed Boulder County probation today because I'm out of money from getting arrested at Denver International Airport. I have showed my pay stubs to my probation officers, and my case manager out of CU. I had to turn myself in last week to Denver Police for my warrant from 2020. The Denver County Police Department is aware of my warrants out of California and New York, Manhattan. I am now being told that they are aware of me not paying my taxes and will keep an eye on how much of the Denver County Police Department is now trying to frame me and claiming that I am a burglar when nothing has ever happened. I'm being told by law enforcement and probation, no more excuses, housing, or jail. The courts are claiming that Grace Vanderbilt needs to come to Colorado to the courtroom if she has an issue with anything.
I like how his arrest due to trespassing suddenly morphs into him turning himself in halfway through his uploads, and he just has to conclude it by trying to get Grace Vanderbilt to show up in court. Some things never change.
Grace ended up having sex with Jacob Sartorius, and Grace is now pregnant.
He also claimed that his arrest caused him to miss his probation appointments, which could be him preemptively coming up with excuses for his inevitable capture due to probation violations, rather than missed appointments. His court date was set for the 23rd of that month. Care to guess what our boy was up to that day?
I am doing a fan meetup today at the Aurora Mall. $20 for unlimited pictures.
Most of his uploads from this day are recorded and posted from this mall, where he announces that he started college the day before, which is part of an elaborate ruse conducted by trolls who got on Zoom calls with him and just gave him fake information.
Now, the first king of ancient Texas, his name was Ashid Antarat, and he was the first king. Now, that's important to remember because that will be on one of the quizzes that we have next week. All right? So if you need to, take a screenshot of my presentation.
I think I saw this guy at a museum one time.
He invented the Caesar salad. He was the first leader of the United Nations, and he was the first person in the world to use pronouns. All right? Julius Caesar was addicted to nicotine, and he eventually banished all nicotine and nicotine users to Mexico.
Given that Daniel posted pictures of multiple plates of food, he was either with someone that day who paid for the meal, who may be these guys, or he was committing the crime of diamond dashing on the same day he was supposed to attend court. His criminal behavior also seems to have altered the course of his music career, marking his transition from pop to gritty gangster rap.
I have 2 rap songs dropping by March 2024. Don't ever think about dropping a song the same day I drop my music. You will get wiped out financially.
A few weeks passed by before he saw any sign of trouble, until suddenly, as he streamed in the early morning of February 3rd, he seemed pretty rattled.
You might have to go on. I don't know what everyone was doing. That's the 3rd time I've seen the same police officer follow me. It's not like they can do anything. They're not after me. I haven't done anything. So they can't legally do anything.
He tried to calm himself down a bit by talking about what he was going to get for lunch and discussing how college students, whom he refers to as teenagers, were just getting out of class and were causing a ruckus in his area.
Fridays and weekends are terrible. Summer break is good, but the break is good as long as it's not snowing.
This attempt was not working, as Daniel could be heard breathing heavily and walking faster, exhibiting clear signs of paranoia. Meanwhile, his bird of prey-like eyes darted all around. The one thing that his paranoia didn't seem to affect was his delusions, which remained as strong as ever.
I still need to also come up with $700 starting tomorrow, next week in the hotel. Well, I have class in an hour. It's the music class, but I don't have music for it because they wanted me to use BandLab, and they're not going to go over how to make a song in the class. They just say, oh, here, use this platform, do it. I'm getting so many gifts in this live stream, I might as well get an apartment tomorrow.
The gifts he got during the stream amounted to about $500 if his count is to be trusted. But still, that's not enough for an apartment. So what Daniel is probably trying to say is that he wants to spend it all on an expensive hotel room and then go back to being homeless 2 days later, stealing food and electricity from the mall. As the stream goes on, he complains about not having music production now out and claims that Clark should learn and do it for him. For those of you who haven't seen the previous videos, ever since Daniel has had an online presence, he's has always maintained a delusion that he's a successful singer-songwriter, and one of the ways trolls found to successfully capture his attention is to present themselves as a record label representative or manager. Clark was the last person to play the role of Daniel's manager, mostly during the year of 2023, and he was particularly infamous for mindlessly enabling Daniel. After complaining about him, Daniel follows up with the announcement he will be running for UCLA government.
It is true, I am running for the UCLA government, and the elections are today. I did find out where the drones were coming from, so UCLA is working with the Chinese government. I was being told that people are being followed by the Chinese government on campus. And also, there is no drone, so stop talking about the drones.
It's funny that people in the chat keep talking about drones to try and make him even more paranoid. Later on, he announces that he will be purposely violating his probation.
I'm going to be possibly in the new movie, though I'm going to be traveling. Rather, the probation allows me to not. I've already been accepted. It's not like I can just quit that job.
As he grows increasingly concerned about being followed, he basically starts stimming about his manager, Clark, Bob, and Tina, and Grace Vanderwall, blaming them for his life being messed up and him being homeless. I realize that some of you guys may not know who any of these people are, so I'll explain them as quick as I can. Besides Clark, whom we...
I have to go get normal person.
For years, I have said that content where people are just eating themselves to death in the name of the almighty mukbang should not be allowed on YouTube, or at the very least, they should not be able to make money off of these kinds of videos. I know, hot take, going against the grain there. And finally, it seems like maybe, just maybe, YouTube is beginning to listen to me. That's right, I'm taking credit for this. Not really. Don't get mad. We like to have fun around here, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I think YouTube might finally be making a positive change, and I think they picked the funniest person that they could have to start with. For at least like a decade at this point, but probably longer, there's been a lot of pushback, there's been a lot of public criticism when it comes to YouTube allowing content that is inherently self-harmful for the creator. The most prominent example, and also the example we're talking about today, is mukbangs. You know, people being allowed to come onto this website and eat themselves into morbid obesity, all in the name of the mighty YouTube dollar. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different shit that falls under this category of like sacrificing your mind or your body for YouTube content. You know, I think that's why we have such a big problem with like wall count culture these days, is because doing stuff like this is just so popular and normal. But I feel like mukbangs are definitely the most widespread, and it seems like YouTube is taking notice of that as well. Because recently, a popular weight loss YouTuber named has had her channel demonetized for content that features acts of self-harm. This is a pretty big deal because from what I can tell, this is the first time this has ever happened. Which is really kind of absurd considering not too long ago we had Nikocado Avocado shitting himself on camera and eating himself into fits of emotional panic. So I mean, really, this is kind of a big thing for YouTube. And on top of that, to me, honestly, it's a little bit confusing. I'm like halfway familiar with Amberlynn Reed's content because just over the years a bunch of people have asked me to make videos on her. So I've checked out her channel probably a dozen times over the last 4 or 5 years. But to me, it just never really seemed like anything out of the ordinary. Like especially compared to Nikocado at the time. Back when I was really talking about mukbangers a lot, it just seemed like the exact shit he was doing, just a little bit less extreme. You know, pretending to go on weight loss journeys all the time, eating disgusting amounts of food. But to me, she always just came across as a person who was trying to copy Nikocado. So I never really felt the need to make a video on her because it just felt like what Nikocado was doing, but less entertaining. With that being said, however, it just felt like Nikocado, but just less entertaining. So I'm kind of curious as to why Amberlynn, out of all people, is getting hit with this first. And when I say that I'm curious, I'm kind of lying because I'm pretty sure I know the exact reason. Amberlynn is one of those people whose audience is made up entirely of people who fucking hate her. So, from what I can tell, our videos just started to get mass reported by people once they realized this would work, which resulted in a bunch of her videos getting taken down and eventually her channel being demonetized. And while this doesn't really seem to be a thing that YouTube is going out of their way to enforce, if it's put in front of their face 100 times, they're probably going to take action, and I think that's just what happened.
Unfortunately, I can't really confirm that for certain though, because after her channel was demonetized, Amberlynn completely wiped her channel. She removed every single video that she has ever uploaded. I guess to maybe try and get back into the YouTube partner program one day, because she probably wouldn't be allowed to, considering that the content that was on her channel is what got her removed from it. So I guess the thinking there is that removing the content will help her get back monetized, which I think historically is inaccurate. But after she wiped her channel, she posted a community post and then went live for about an hour. And just to get the full story, you know, form a well-rounded opinion, we're going to take a look at both of those things. We're not going to watch the entire live stream, just a couple moments, but there are a few things that I think are worth talking about here. So talk about them we shall. Let's get this. So the community post reads, I took down all of my YouTube videos. It feels surreal even typing that. For the last 13 years, YouTube has been more than just a platform to me. It has been my life, my routine, my identity, my coping mechanism, my outlet, and honestly, my mirror. It shaped me in ways I'm still trying to understand. Some of those ways have been beautiful and some have been painful, but all of them have made me who I am today. I grew up on this platform my whole adulthood. I've laughed here, cried here, messed up here, learned here, healed here, and hurt here. I've made mistakes in front of thousands of people, but I've also been lifted up by thousands of people. That balance, the good and bad, is something I'll always carry with me. Taking everything down wasn't easy, it wasn't impulsive, it was something I felt deep in my chest, like a chapter that needed to end so another one could finally begin. I don't know exactly what the future looks like yet, but I do know that I will always strive to be better and do better to everyone who has watched me, supported me, encouraged me, or even just quietly checked in from time to time. Thank you truly. Your presence in my life has mattered more than you probably realize. I just needed to take a breath, reset, and figure out who I am outside of the noise. Thank you for being here for so long, and I hope in whatever comes next, you'll always remember me. Now, from an outsider's perspective, you know, sort of peering into this community, at first I feel like this comes across as pretty level-headed. Like you read this and you're like, oh, I wonder why people don't like this woman so much. And then you start to dive into basically anything that is documented about this woman. And you're like, oh, okay, this is all bullshit, probably just trying to play nice for YouTube. The tip of the iceberg is that this woman is an abusive partner, an animal abuser, has taken every chance that she's gotten to exploit and manipulate her audience. Basically a person whose removal from YouTube is likely going to benefit all parties involved. And I think Amberlynn being demonetized is a positive change and hopefully a step in the right direction for YouTube, because I think a lot of the issues with her channel are things that have been needing to be addressed by YouTube for years. And those issues and how they affect YouTube are really the reason I wanted to make this video.
What time is it?
Like I said before I started yapping about the greater implications of this for YouTube, but we're going to take a look at a couple of moments from this live stream.
I have not uploaded an actual video in like half of a year. I have done just live streams. I have not talked about ease.
Okay.
I have not really talked about my weight. I have not done anything like that. That's what my channel was for the longest time.
I'll grab my coffee at some point soon. I am exhausted.
But that was years ago. Mukbang, who is she? I haven't filmed one of those since I was with Celine. And then I got mass reported. Mass reported. Hard. Like it was crazy. I'm confused. Say you're driving, right? And you're driving on a road that goes 60 miles per hour. And then they realize, actually, no, I think this road should be 45. So you're going down it, 45. And then a cop pulls you over. And they're like, last month, you were like 60 down this. I'm going to give you a ticket. And you're like, wait a minute. I was allowed to then. No. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna be grabbing
Presenting this is pretty misleading. So
grabbing my coffee.
YouTube updated their community guidelines, specifically those involving topics of self-harm, to cover eating disorders as well. And this policy change is what resulted in Amberlynn's content being demonetized. And the way she frames this, she makes it sound like, oh, well, I haven't made a video like that in 6 months, I've just been live streaming. And then she presents this scenario with the cop. It's like, yeah, that would be unfair, but that's not what happened here. This policy change went into effect in April of 2023, over a year and a half ago. So, I mean,
What happened? People were doing what in your comments? I'm sorry, I didn't really read that. Wait, what?
That she still was uploading that kind of content after the policy change, but even if she wasn't, those videos are still up. I feel like it's pretty fair for them to decide to stop paying you for something a year and a half after they deemed it not fit for monetization. Like, that is plenty of time to take a new direction with your channel. And even after you not doing anything with that year and a half, it's not like they were the ones removing your videos and you did that. And it's not
Who's
like
streaming my stream?
demonetize you. You can reapply for monetization after 3 months. So she's trying to make this out to be this thing where she got, like, blindsided. But really, she had plenty of notice. It just seems like she wanted to continue to profit off of that kind of content, even though she knew it was no longer allowed. Now, I will say, as a YouTuber, I have to step in and say that if other people don't start getting hit by this, then it's bullshit and she should be reinstated, because she is not the worst nor the most popular person who makes this kind of content. I mean, take Hungry Fat Chick, for example, who literally admits to making feeder
What is that?
here on YouTube and uploads 2 or 3 times a week doing the same shit that Amberlyn did, still fully monetized.
I can't go.
I don't know what any of that means.
Say you're at work and your boss comes up to you and says, I've decided I'm not going to pay you anymore. You can keep coming in though. I don't think anyone would. I don't think anyone would. I understand I wasn't coming on here as frequently as I should have been or would have been, could have been. But I was still coming. Now I have to put that time and that energy into other things. I have to give all of myself to something else. And I'm so sorry. Like, genuinely.
Who are the people? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Soul. To say that, it really does. It really, really does. It really does. I have to go be a normal person now.
Yeah, so, all that about it hurting your soul, I find that kind of hard to believe. Like we just established, it is a 3-month-long period where you can't reapply for monetization, and then as long as you change the things that you already monetized for, there's really no reason for you to not get back into the YouTube partner program. I mean, YouTube likes to make money. Every channel they get out of the program is more money for them. It's not like they want to demonetize you, clearly. Far bigger YouTubers get away with far worse things.
What?
Really only ever cracks down on
Who?
like this when they're kind of like legally
I'm literally just sorting beads. What am I doing? Who's doing what? What do you mean? I don't understand. Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, I try to just... I'm just there for everyone. I just try to hang out with everyone. I try to be like the capybara, you know? I just try to be the person who just hangs out and everybody's welcome, and that's what I try to do. That's the environment that I like to do. I'm just counting beads and listening to these people talk about other people over here. I don't think I'm a celebrity by any means. My God. It's just me doing me stuff. I mean, that's all.
And I think it's why YouTube has garnered this reputation of being such an unfair social media platform. People don't only violate the guidelines, they build their entire content strategy around doing so, and they're completely fine because their audience knows how to play by the rules, and they just don't report it. And I
just try to be a friend to everybody.
See something violating the guidelines, as long as there's no reports, as long as there's no outrage about it, they just don't give a shit. I mean, you see this kind of shit all the time with the self-destructive behavior of all the lol cows on YouTube, other mukbangers doing the exact same shit that Amberlyn has been doing for years.
No, don't be scared of commenting. If you're not saying anything crazy, you know, what does it matter?
It's like, really, what's even the point? What is the point of demonetizing one single channel out of a sea?
You weren't saying anything crazy.
Exact same shit, if not worse, to a bigger audience. Like, you could say just take the win, and I mean, sure,
yeah, I mean, if you got something to hide, I guess, but otherwise, shouldn't matter at all. You know, a lot of these people, too. You know, they're living through the same exact experiences that you are. Maybe it would be nice for people to, you know, just relate to somebody. I don't know. I that's how I think. People should never feel like they should be silenced, as much as maybe I silence myself here sometimes, you know?
I feel like this is both a positive and a negative. You know, maybe it'll scare some people into not uploading bullshit like this on
I don't see myself as anywhere near that. I'm just me. Always been. Never will have that. Doesn't matter how much money I make or how many people know who I am. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I just like being here and having a nice time with everybody. It's really what keeps me going. I'm glad that people know who I am, and the way that if they feel comfortable hanging out with me, you know what? That's awesome. That's the goal, you know. I'm glad that other people of note, you know, like to hang out here and chill out. Means a lot to me, you know, and I hope that everybody can find a place here, you know, because you guys are worth talking to and hanging out with. It means the whole world to me. You know, I'm just listening to some dumb shit on YouTube, and that's about it over here.
I already told you not to fall in love on TikTok. This is why. I'm unfiltered. And this is how we see each other with a filter.
Yeah, I agree.
So everyone is warned that I'm going to. Well, I'm going to ask you to do something that you probably haven't done in months, and that's going to be more uncomfortable. For your ex to see someone new at a family dinner where you can't escape because your mom is looking at you with those behave or I'll kill you eyes that haven't happened to me before. But it has to be a monumental pain in the ass. Open the front camera on your phone right now. Remove all the filters. And when I say all, I mean all. Not even the one that just smooths out the skin texture a little bit, okay? That one out too. And now look at yourself for a full 60 seconds without touching your hair, without changing the angle, without making that face that you always make. When you know someone is into you, you already know which one. You could have done it, or you felt that almost visceral need to close the app, put on a filter, change the lighting, or just throw your phone out the window and pretend it accidentally fell. It's broken. If you couldn't look at yourself without a filter for a minute, without feeling uncomfortable, anxious, or that automatic urge to, I need to fix this now. So, welcome to the club of millions of women who are experiencing an existential crisis that no one is naming, and that is probably one of the most
Thomas! Hey man, what's up?
But that we have normalized
What up,
so
what
much that
up?
we don't even realize that we have a
I'm
massive
sorting
problem.
beads again, you already know.
I'm going to put down the coffee cup, or I'll throw it. How's it going, my curious ones? Welcome to this, your favorite social criticism room. There are many new
Why
people
is this
joining
person
me,
talking
and everybody here is
exclusively in an
curious.
AI voice?
So let me formally introduce myself. Hi, I'm Mark. Thank you so much for being here. And especially thank you for being on this video where we're going to talk about something that has absolutely disturbed me for months.
You know,
Because
it really fulfills the sorting craving that I get. Because I'm constantly wanting to fix things. So it definitely, it gives me that thing You know, it gives me that nice little, it's comforting. It's comforting sorting things. I have this much more, including this right here, and so it's going down. It's happening. The sorting is working. It is a very slow going feeling, but boy oh boy, over time, is it working? No, the entire box that I have, well, pretty much, but I have this one that I have to do. I have to do this one. So that needs to happen, but I need to finish this one. It's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot of work. Yeah, this is completely full. This has not even been opened yet. You can still see the seal on it. That has not even been opened yet. So, yeah, I am just trying not to freak out. Trying to just sort these one by one and put them all in their designated baggies. It is a lot. But you know what? It really does, again, the craving of sorting things is happening. Like, it is definitely working. Whatever it is working. It is good. So, I'm sorting these, because I am going to be making more perler bead ornaments. And I wish I could do this job in like a whole full freaking day. I wish it was possible. I really wish it was possible. But it's kind of impossible, to be real with you, to do it in like a whole day. It takes a lot. Yeah, pretty much. We're trying here. Man, we're trying, Thomas. It's hard, though. It's hard to actually, like, you know, we're trying. We're going to be doing our, what is that? Sues for what? Are you going to put them on, as the listing? Christian, I hate to ask you. I'm just right in the middle of this. So, I'm just wondering here. I'm not going to be making any more of these perler beads until this stuff is sorted. I'm going to put what I have already up. Are people going to spend, if I put my bigger ones up there? Because if you look at the prices, some people are charging like $10 per thing. You think I can get away with that?
Personally,
okay, because if you look it up, if you look them up, perler bead ornaments and shit, like, if you look that up, I hate to have you look it up because I'm just, you know, I know you're busy and shit, but people spend that, it looks like.
What does your body actually translate into the role plays day-to-day actions that you take as simple as taking a drink?
Because making one of those Vivies is like a whole hour, so I'm just saying, like, minimum wage is like $15. So if I just charge like $10 for my Vivi,
think of it that way though. A lot of the time when it comes to,
and I'm sorting these beads, and it's for the shipping materials and everything else, like,
but at the same time, you also gotta think about the kind of product you're selling.
I know. It is comparable to other people's, though.
The fact that you purchase unsorted beads isn't your customer's problem.
It's not their problem, no. That is true. But I'm just saying it all requires some sort of work.
You're a man, you stop doing that. Crack out and man. Twist the bottle. Take it away from everybody. Bring it so you
So in my defense, it all leads into some sort of work. that I am doing.
Make the
Yes,
ice
but it's
serve
also
you.
not
Nobody
like
bows
a
to
high
the
skill
bottle,
gap
Mike.
thing
You
either,
can't
right?
drink out of the bottle bowing to. That's not how gravity works. You would make this point with the straw.
Considering I messed it up like 10
Say
times,
like an idiot,
and I had to
moving
keep
your
putting
head
it
down,
together.
straw from a
That
cup.
wasn't the point. The
This
point
is
is
a
that
bottle,
any
Mike.
person
You're
can
breaking
literally
the
go
laws of
copy that
physics.
thing, right?
That is true. Anybody can do anything. Like, people can make the McDonald's ranch, and people can do anything. It's just the ability on if they want to do it. So if people just don't have time,
Beginning, you're asking the wrong person.
that is true.
Would I pay that for a pro to be thinking of
About to come. Really?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. Ironically enough, my original.
What business you having?
Here because the more I watch of this guy, the more I realize.
Well, no, it's not that you would, but you aren't into that anyways.
Okay, so that's irrelevant. First impression.
So yeah, you are not probably the right person to ask.
Everybody thinks this uniform movement is achieving, like walking around like you got a 2x4 stapled to your forehead, and you gotta move everything
Not my
at once, but
forte.
it looks very, very unnatural. It's not working. You're a wonder.
But yeah, I've seen them go for quite a bit online.
Yeah, I know the people we quite a bit.
I want to say it's. Wait, why? Why is it embarrassing? Why do you say that? It's not embarrassing. Why? How are you going to tell me something like that and then just not tell me? That's insane. I hate people that do that. Don't be one of those people. What is it? Literally, it will not be embarrassing. What is it? People make a lot of shit and do a lot of different things. Formal clothing store. Okay, like that's awesome. That's great. Are you a tailor? Do you make the clothes? Like, what do you, that's awesome. Like, what are you talking about? It's embarrassing. That's great. That's really awesome. What is wrong with that? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, what is embarrassing about it? Because that's really cool. A lot of people do that, you know. So here's my suggestion, man. With any business, this is my suggestion. And this is a way I can give you. I'm gonna talk about this in granola bar. All right. Let's just say you're trying to sell a granola bar, right? Don't talk about the 13 different oats in the granola bar. Nobody really gives a fuck about that. Talk about what the granola bar can do for you personally. Talk about the benefits, what that granola bar, if the granola bar can give you superpowers, what the granola bar can do for you. That is what people focus on. So that's your main thing. Be like, what makes your clothes special than everybody else's clothes? What can these clothes do for you in what type of situation? That is how you're going to succeed. What, you know what I mean? It's not embarrassing. Nothing is embarrassing. Nothing should be embarrassing like that. That's really cool, actually, man. That's awesome. Well, if you ever come up with anything like that, I don't mind promoting it. So what are you nervous about? What's embarrassing about it? What's your deal?
About being fully aware and present. And maintain
True.
any space that we're in. Serve us. We're about to take a seat on the bench.
It's good to be honest with
We don't
people.
wanna take too little space.
I'm honest with people when I sell stuff on TikTok.
Why would other want to notice me if I'm trying to hide? How does it look?
Like, honestly, like, you're just so wrong about everything. It's impressive. Like, I'm
Okay.
assuming the goal of an alpha male, a guy like this,
Then go ahead.
is to attract women, get the attention of women, and I promise you, women are not looking at a
What
guy
is the
with
market
big
for this?
spread out, be like, holy shit, how do I give me some of that? Man spreading is a stupid ass
Yeah,
term.
people look at you like a human if you do that. People will trust you if you do that. If you say, you know what, I don't always like this. I don't like this. I like this better. Like, people will be like, oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I've literally said that. Do not get this. I don't trust this. Do not get this.
Do it right. You gotta grab a bottle from the bottom and untwist it from the bottom.
Because I don't want to be liable.
What is this man?
I don't want to be like, oh, well, I bought it from you because I trust you, and then this happened to me. I've had that shit happen before.
Use your entire damn arm to open a bottle? Are you weak, Mike? Can't open a bottle with your precious little fingertips? What are you, a beta?
53 million in my town, but the store I'm getting is underperforming.
Well, guys, what do you think? Do you think Planet
Okay.
Mike's just an alpha, nay, a sigma that I can't understand? Feeble little beta minds? No.
So what can you do to make it
Honestly, I feel
perform
kind of bad
correctly?
for
What
this guy because
what are you doing actively that you feel like you can do really, really well that you could benefit this?
these kinds of things are what is
I mean, you take that knowledge, that gives you confidence, and then you do it.
it starts to not really be funny anymore and kind of just gets sad, so I'm not gonna do that. We'll leave it there. See ya.
If you think you could do it better, if you think you can invent the wheel better than somebody else, then I guess do it. There's my advice. But clearly it's already been done before. That'll be a good start. But how about working with what you already got so then you can actually formulate some profit? How about you make the space that you already have nice? I know what you mean. Like, I get it. But you kind of have to start somewhere. Like, you can't build Rome in a day. If you plant a plant, you're not going to get fruit the same day.
The persistent pressure to constantly be keeping up with the Joneses, except the Joneses are now the entire world, is just a little bit too much for some people to handle. And it's only getting worse. Don't get me wrong, social media has made...
I'm not trying to be discouraging. If anything, I'm trying to be uplifting and be like, you can probably keep the location. I understand though, but okay.
Spending their life savings on a 3-day rental for a Lamborghini so they can cosplay being rich and try to sell a course. We've got 14-year-olds hopping on.
Well, then it seems like you already know what you're doing.
Lifetime nanny, and we've got young women getting addicted to tanning beds and tanning injections.
I know nothing about this. I didn't know you were in this for 10 years. In my defense, I didn't know any of this. I am learning myself. Hey, doing good. How are you, Angel? I'm doing great. I'm just hanging out. I'm sorting these beads. Yeah, no problem. Well, if you want it, you can get it. I'm in the process of doing this stuff with Christian. Most of this is Christian's thing. But I'm just trying to make this, you know, what I'm trying... Aw, hey Juan, greetings from New York, man. Hope you're doing great. Like, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to add some more different stuff. You know what I mean? Like, besides cards, if people want to get something besides all that, they can. You know? That's all. So I'm trying to make this a little bit more for everybody here, which is nice, you know? Which is, you know, I think important. You know, you want more selection. The selection is good. Like, and the thing too about these ornaments is that you don't just gotta put it on your Christmas tree. You can literally hang these from your little car thing. You know, your little mirror on your car, you know, you can put these anywhere. You can stick a magnet on the back of it, cut the string, stick a magnet on the back of it, have it as a fridge magnet forever. You know, I mean, it's one of those things, you know. I guess that's my standpoint on it, you know. Like, you can do that. You know, and that's what I'm trying to introduce, you know. Just besides cards, I'm trying to give free gifts to people. You know, I have an Adopt a Dragon program that you'll see here. You buy 5 card packs, you get a little dragon ornament You know what I mean?
Okay, so before
Like,
this video, I didn't even know that tanning injections were a thing.
yeah.
I've never heard
You know,
of
I mean, but it's that thing that you can just,
It's a substance called
you can make it
From
useful.
what I can tell,
Yeah, I'm from New York,
it's
Juan.
the absolute worst way you can possibly try and get a tan. Obviously, it has all the normal side effects.
Yep, New York.
Has, you know, like getting cancer through the eyes. But since it's like a hormone that you're injecting, it fucks up a lot more. It messes with your heart. It can change your vision. It can cause like chronic muscle pain and migraines, and a whole lot more. And that's on top of the cancer. Couple that with using a tanning bed 4 times a week. No joke, this woman is like carcinogen maxing. The UV rays from the tanning bed are grouped into the same kind of carcinogen as tobacco. I'm sincerely concerned for this individual.
Like what medicine beds, because they're trained to make me stronger for your face, but I've also got some in the room, so sometimes I'll...
God, she looks sick.
Or my sunbed, because it's different tubes, just gives us loads of confidence. I just feel top of the world.
I understand her tanning obsession. I do. I understand this one. She's like the perfect art.
There's not much you can do because if a person really thinks that this
I understand.
looks good, I don't know what you do to talk them out.
It does look good. I hate to say it. I do think it does look good on her.
Kind of same situation.
I hate to say it does look good on her. It does. On her, it does. No, it really does, though. She does kind of rock it a little bit. No, she really does look good. I won't lie to you. That eyeshadow pops. That... No, I'm really not. I'm not lying. It does look good. Her blonde hair, I don't know, it just looks really good. I'm not saying it's not bad for her. I'm saying she could use Bondi Sands and probably achieve... No, it looks really good on her. It really does. No, it looks awesome. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. I like tan. I think tan looks good. Tan looks healthy. She looks healthy. She looks like she smells good. I don't know. Like, I gotta put on my Bondi Sands. I'm looking real pale.
It's stopped being I like to look tan, and it's really I like to look like a completely different race. Because like, don't get me wrong, I usually go to the beach like once a year with family, and sure, it's kind of nice to look tan for a bit, but I mean, this is not really like being tan. Like what she looks like is not recognized as being just a tan person. It sort of just looks like she's cosplaying as a different race.
She looks good there. Her blue eyes pop. I don't know. I get it. I love Beware.
Some people do actually compliment her. Heads turn everywhere I go.
So yeah, I'm sure that heads do turn everywhere you go, but based off...
Hey, McKev. So the beads are used for, no, that's okay. Lo siento, yo no habla español. Lo siento. The beads are used for ornaments.
Recognizable that she's just trying to look tan. So I feel like just taking on some fake tan would probably produce the same results, and it would be, I don't know, 5,000 times.
That's the only thing I know how to say in Spanish. I love the Beware. It's our friendship Pokemon card. It came out of my personal collection. I love that Beware. Keep that safe for me. It's a cute one. Thank you. That's the only thing I know how to say. The art is really cute. I like that too.
So two things.
He's cute.
Deny that she is from the same part of England that Case Cook is from, because this entire time I've been like, she sounds like somebody I know, and it's Case Cook. They have the exact same cadence, and I find that pretty funny. Not really all that relevant, but I was just curious. Also, I feel like maybe proper research wasn't done if after you injected your body with a hormone that makes you produce extra melanin, you got surprised that you were a different color. That one seems to be pretty surface level, if you ask me.
Started noticing moles on the back of my hands. I've got moles all over, but I do get moles on some beds. Moles are cancerous. Got a mark on my stomach. I tried going to the doctors. I faced my daughter. See, they go on some beds for 3 years. I've got moles all over. That mark is, I've never seen nothing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I like you too, man. You seem very nice. Seem like a very nice person. Thank you for hanging out with me.
Tried injections, and I've never looked back from there. Just addiction's just getting worse. I wouldn't recommend pulling some beds to anyone.
This is honestly kind of sad because she seems pretty well versed on it now, and she's being very vocal about how like this is a real addiction and you should not start it. And it would be one thing if the whole video was that, you know, just sort of spreading awareness, but it's never just that. There's always got to be like half a video dedicated to responding to hate comments or making this big point about how if it's making you happy, it's okay. I'm like, sure, if it's a normal Truly video where all it is people dressing up as dogs and having OnlyFans, whatever, but I mean, this is actively killing this woman. It's different.
Starting up from dark, year and a half after using something, I looked back, posted a TikTok and got loads of hate for it on this 2 pence coin. One person even said, when chip the bottom of the air fryer.
I think stuff like this really goes to show the stage you have to be involved in something like this. Because if you recall, she said this is when she started. I'm gonna have to disagree on that one. This does not even look like skin. Like, she's not even a skin color. She looks like she fell into a pool of motor oil. Like, this is not the way anybody looks. It looks like she's wearing fake skin or something. Like, for it to have to get to this point before you step back and think, you know what, maybe this is beginning to be a little much. You know, look a little unnatural is genuinely unfathomable. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that body dysmorphia is a very real thing, but it seems like skin color is pretty binary. You know, like, you're either dark or you're not. So it's just hard for me to understand how a person would look like this and see comments like this and just blow it off as hate instead of people saying, hey, you look ridiculous.
Time I thought it was all looks nice, but now I look back at it now, it looks terrible. 9,522 comments. People tagging friends, 62.2 page shares. Oh my god, I'm famous! That's what I thought. I'm not famous, but it didn't reflect right. Even friends in the comment section saying this, which that might be like I was. It did affect us a bit. Then I started to learn to deal with the hate that I took possible from the shoulders now.
This video is honestly just leaving me more confused than anything. Because she says one thing, like she looks back at these videos and realizes it looks terrible, and then 20 seconds later, she's like, now I've just learned to deal with the hate and throw it over my shoulder because it doesn't matter. Like, can we not sort of put these things together and realize, hey, maybe if people weren't hating back then, since as you realize now it looked terrible, maybe they aren't hating now. Maybe it just still looks terrible. Like, that doesn't seem like that hard of a stretch.
Time causes lots of arguments between me and Mum. She tried to go up to something one time. She said you're old enough to make your own decisions, and I do now. Stop going up to something. You're ruining your skin. By the time you're 30, sometimes Mum just like walking around with this big out pressure on the sunbed salon. Mum and me now are really concerned about this. Try to make up this friends, but I just don't pretend. I don't think I would ever stop using the kind of thing to do on Sunday because I'm not used to it now. I don't know what I look like now. If I start getting wrinkles, I think that could possibly make me stop sunbeds, but I've already noticed the effects of wrinkles on the skin. It doesn't feel as, to be honest. I'm not used to going on sunbeds now, so it's just a standard procedure for me. I'm trying to avoid medication. It's hard. Sometimes I cry after the sunbeds because I know the damage I'm doing to the skin. I feel like I'm too far gone.
So not trying to be a hater, because I'm sure that's what this will be categorized as, but you say that if you're starting to see wrinkles, you might stop. You don't look 19. You look mid-30s. Maybe early 30s.
Oh, she's 19. Oh.
Very, very apparent to anybody.
Yikes.
It's like the same shit with the face and lip fillers. Some people get like filler blindness. I'm sorry, but if you don't think you look like a person who spent every other day in a panic bed for the last few years, you're off the book. Also, I really don't understand the whole you tried to quit, but you think you're too far gone thing. She said she's been doing this for how long? Like since she was in her mid-teens? You're 19. Is that supposed to imply that you've already done all the damage you can do? So you might as well keep going? Because that's the assumption you're operating under. That's bad. Like obviously you've done permanent damage at this point for sure. But every time you get in the tanning bed or do some sort of tanning injection, you are increasing your risk of melanoma for the rest of your life. Like you're 19. Hopefully you've got a long ways to go. This is something you're going to be dealing with for the rest of your life. And And every week that goes by that you're doing this over and over again, you're just making your future worse. You would be doing your body and your quality of life and just everything about yourself a significant favor by stopping.
I thought she was my age. Oh, yikes.
Anyways, that's basically where the video ends. And like I've been saying, this would be a completely different situation. If Truly didn't always angle these videos to be like, these people are getting hate for no reason. Like throughout the video, it seemed like this woman more so wanted to talk about the negatives of tanning and like trying to kind of warn people against it. And there was still like, yeah, we're gonna make you read a bunch of hate comments though, and try to frame this as a thing where people are just being mean to you. It's just weird. I'm curious to see if Truly ever offers like any kind of support to these people. My guess is they probably don't. Well guys, what are your thoughts? Like I think this is one of those things that a lot of people would see a video of on social media and just kind of laugh at it and move on. Which I'm not even saying that's like a bad thing. If you're putting your fucking tanning addiction onto the internet, I don't really know what else you expect. But it is one of those things that a lot of people are probably like at least a little bit addicted to, and you never really stop and think about it. Like doing irreparable damage to your body to look like a person from a different planet is something that is definitely a choice. And if a choice, I hope this woman is able to stop making in the near future, because I have a feeling that if she doesn't, things are about to get real bad for her. See ya.
A woman rubbed contaminated skin cream on her face. This is what happened to her brain. BD, a 46-year-old woman, presenting to the emergency room with slurred speech and blurred vision. 2 weeks earlier, she was at the same emergency room because her hands had become weak. An intense pins and needles feeling turned them completely numb. Back then, it didn't seem like anything immediately life-threatening was happening to her. But now that she can't see or speak clearly, it means something terrible is happening to her. A few years ago, Beanie believed that she had problems with blemishes on her skin. To her, these dark spots were terrible signs of aging and sun damage, and she had to do something about this before it was too late. A friend had told her about a skin lightening cream that helps with this. These contain special ingredients that were ethically sourced from various corners of the world that gently inactivate certain enzymes in the skin to fix and prevent blemishes. These were so effective that access to this cream could only be had through special ordering channels, but BD was in luck. Her friend had contact with the most authoritative source on importing these creams, and she was able
I think I probably already have some.
BD applied this cream to her face twice daily, and the blemishes were going away, but over time she started noticing something was wrong. One evening, BD suddenly emptied her stomach from both ends. When she rinsed out her mouth with water afterwards, a metallic taste pierced into her cheeks.
Mercury.
A burning sensation rolled over her tongue, but she really wasn't sure what this was. It didn't hurt, and it would come and go. Beanie didn't think too much about all of this happening, and she continued to apply the skin lightening cream to her face. One day, Beanie noticed that she
I used to wear skin lightening cream.
She thought that maybe it was just slippery, but as pins and needles feeling in her hands started getting more and more intense, it would wake her up at night. In the emergency room, doctors didn't find anything immediately life-threatening. They sent her home and scheduled an appointment with a different doctor who wanted her to come back after a couple of weeks to see how she was doing.
Yep.
But BD wasn't going to last a couple of weeks. She started having trouble seeing, and she couldn't drive anymore. She had trouble speaking because her family couldn't understand what she was saying, and she started having trouble walking, bringing us back to the emergency room where we are now. At examination, the medical team were concerned about two things. BD went from having weakness and numbness in her hands to having blurred vision, unsteady gait, and slurred speech, all in the time span of 2 weeks. The speed of her decline gives them clues as to what's happening, but not only this, where this is happening gives them a second set of clues. Clearly, BD's problems are related to her nerves, but where specifically? Her problem is not just some of her nerves, because it devolved into a problem spanning her entire body, from the way that she moves to her senses. This means that there could be something wrong with her brain, but MRI reveals nothing wrong. There's been visible structural abnormalities. Her brain isn't swelling and folding on itself. It doesn't have anything abnormal growing out of it. She also doesn't have a fever, so this likely isn't an infection like meningitis. When the medical team took a routine blood test, They find that BD is normal. As the days pass, they find that BD would have random, delirious episodes in between long periods of silence where she would sit there and stare into the void. When sounds came out of her mouth, they were just mumbles and screams. One of the new doctors on the team decided to order a blood test different from the ones that had been done routinely. The final cause of BD's problems that hadn't really been looked through was a toxic one. And when they looked at the results, they find that BD's mercury levels are 1,000
Knew it was mercury.
upper limit. And this explains everything happening to her. But what's in her blood is only a part of what's in her body.
I knew it was mercury.
Even more mercury that's absorbed in her organs.
I never watched this one before. I just knew it was.
Blood. This brings us to the idea of absorption. Mercury is a metal. It's the only one that's liquid at room temperature on Earth. In this form, it doesn't absorb into the skin. You'll see that it rolls right off, and the bulk fluid doesn't enter the body. This is why you'll hear people say that they touched mercury from a thermometer.
Yep.
And they'll ask why they didn't get mercury poisoning. It's because it doesn't absorb into the skin, but rather in this form. Sometimes small amounts of vapor can come up from the liquid and get inhaled, and that vapor can cause mercury poisoning. This would be considered elemental mercury poisoning, but it isn't what happened to BD. When the medical team asked her family more about when all of this started, they learned that BD had been using a skin lightening cream 2 times daily for 7 years. And when the medical team saw that it had no ingredients on its label, they contacted the state and the poison center for further instructions. In
Hope it's not the one that I have.
The department analyzed the cream. High levels of mercury were found, but something was wrong. When creams like this have mercury, it's usually in a salt form. Table salt that we add to food is sodium chloride, where sodium is...
Well, you got me. I'm your friend. I'll be your friend.
Really as a metal, because we think of it in the form that floats around the...
I like friends everywhere, too. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Sodium, mercury can be the metal in salt. This is the form that you may have heard of in old medicines, like a treatment for sickness.
I am the same way.
Break up in the body, leaving the metal floating around as a charge particle, ending in mercury poisoning. The mercury found in BD's skin lightening cream was a salt, but it's more complex than that. Instead of just mercury ion as the metal, it was a chemical called methyl mercury. Oil is a mixture of several different hydrocarbons, and this methyl hydrocarbon branch attached to mercury.
That's why I like it, too, because I meet so many different people from everywhere.
Carbon-containing mercury is called an organic mercury. Mercury salt and organic mercury, unlike elemental mercury, absorb through the skin and into the body. So, BD applying this cream to her face every day, twice daily, accumulated mercury in her body. But what was it doing? Mercury is a heavy metal. When elements are heavy, it means that they have a lot of mass. The human body is made almost entirely of 6 elements. Carbon,
Almost done with
phosphorus, and sulfur. None of these elements are heavy.
this
They're pretty light.
little
They're not massive,
bin
and this means that they're
here.
stable. But mercury isn't light. It's relatively stable in its
And then we got the other one.
in BD's body. This mercury has a tendency towards instability, and in order to stabilize itself, it's going to interact with parts of the structure.
Yeah, trying.
Permanent damage happens. Our physical form is made of proteins, and proteins are chains of 20 different
I'm trying. Yeah, it's always nice having friends from everywhere. I always like that. It's cool getting to know people and what they like, all the different stuff that they are interested in, and things like that. It's just awesome. It's cool how the internet does that, you know, when you typically would never meet somebody, and then, you know, because they're so far away, you'd have no chance to talk to them any other way, and then you meet them on here, and no, that's awesome. That's the best part about the internet, man.
Environmental mercury, which never entered the person's body. At least in the United States, large amounts of mercury shouldn't be floating around in the air, and it shouldn't be on surfaces. But hair can collect it based on this contact, so it could lead one to believe that they've ingested mercury when in fact they haven't. Cells need to break down chemicals when they're done with them. For example, when nerve signals are sent, the neurotransmitters that send those signals need to be taken away. Enzymes do this breaking down, but enzymes are proteins. When someone is poisoned with mercury, those enzymes don't work anymore. Do you remember that oil is made of hydrocarbon chains? Well, oil doesn't mix with water, but it mixes with other oils and fats. Knowing that BD's Skin Lightening Cream had methyl mercury, a hydrocarbon branch, we know that it preferentially mixes with fat tissue in the body. But everything in the body has fat. Cells have a lipid bilayer, and methyl mercury gets in and breaks the enzymes inside, causing toxicity. Is there a part of the body that has more fat than others? Well, the brain is 60% fat. Because fat dissolves in fat, and blood is made of water, which isn't fat, then mercury gathered into her nerves and her brain. BD had movement disorders. This tells us that mercury has deposited into the part of her brain that controls movement called the cerebellum. And unfortunately, we have enough information on methyl mercury poisoning to know that this is typical. In 1956, Minamata City in Japan, by the water, a 5-year-old girl presented to the emergency room with difficulty walking, trouble speaking, and seizures. 2 days later, her younger sister presented with exactly the same symptoms. Their mother told the doctors that their neighbor's daughter also had been experiencing the same problems, prompting public health officials to investigate a potential outbreak, and they found 8 people in the neighborhood with the same signs and symptoms. Officials who were investigating found that cats living in the area would have convulsions before passing away, something that the locals called cat dancing disease. Crows and other birds would suddenly fall from the sky, their bodies unable to move normally. Fish would float up to the surface of the water and become lifeless. All of this started to make more sense when they realized that a local chemical factory had been dumping wastewater into the bay, and inside that wastewater was methyl mercury. The fish absorbed it into their bodies through the water. The cats and the birds would eat the fish and accumulate mercury, causing the same problems that happened with humans, because the locals living in the town—
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Fish. Typically, we refrain from naming diseases after specific locations because
They're really good. I like them.
Chemical factories can be anywhere. And this mercury poisoning can also happen anywhere. But when the medical team did BD's
Now that I got the ranch, though, you know.
mercury poisoning, her blood levels were 10 times the average person who got sick from this incident in Minamata City. Do you remember that mercury likes to bind to sulfur? Well,
Yeah.
that means that there might
I just
be
have
a
more
way
stuff in
to
it.
remove the mercury from BD. The medical team used succinylcholine. Technically, the sulfur
That's
here
what I'm
should be
saying.
able
You
to
probably just
surround
want the more stuff.
It should be able to prevent it from binding to any more proteins in the body, further preventing damage. The problem is, succinyl won't be able to displace mercury already absorbed into her organs. And even worse, succinyl won't be able to reverse the damage that mercury has already done. Methylmercury poisoning is scary because it doesn't immediately produce symptoms. The delayed onset appears to be due to how it distributes into fat tissue. The body takes longer to clear it out, and it does so through the GI tract. The studies suggest that it takes almost a year to clear out most of it from the blood. But studies also suggest that once it absorbs into neurological
Thank
tissue,
you. Well,
it
you
generates
sleep well, okay?
experiments in a separate
Night.
someone who survived methylmercury
Good
poisoning
night.
for 22 years.
Thank
showed
you
that
for
mercury
visiting
was still
one.
present in the brain all those years later, and that it had converted into inorganic mercury, like from salt.
Thank you
As
so
the
much
days
for
passed, BD was
visiting.
continuously giving
I hope your
symptoms
workday goes
to remove
good.
the mercury from her blood. She hadn't used the skin cream for several weeks at this point, but the medical team determined that she needs to be transferred to a hospital that can take better care of her. But why was the mercury in the cream? Well, some skin lightening products utilize mercury. The body uses metal ions for various functions. In normal function, copper ion is used in the enzyme that produces melanin, the substance that produces hair, eye, and skin pigmentation. Mercury competes with this copper ion, and as mercury does, it inactivates the enzyme inhibiting melanin production, resulting in a skin lightening effect. So, some of these products already have mercury in them, but normally they have the inorganic salt version. So, while BD's product probably was going to have mercury in it, her issue is that the particular jar that she was using was contaminated with organic methylmercury. BD's case is significant because it was the first time that methylmercury was found to be in these skin lightening products that were imported. But even more, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued a consumer update to warn that mercury poisoning is now being more commonly linked to skin products, particularly ones that are marketed as anti-aging or skin lightening. These products are often spread by word of mouth, and they may be used to treat age spots, freckles, and blemishes, like what BD was looking to do. And teenagers may use these products to help with acne. Sometimes these products will tell you straight up on their label that they contain mercury, but sometimes these words aren't immediately obvious, like when it says calomel, which is a name for mercury chloride, so it's the inorganic salt. Other times, the label doesn't even list any of the ingredients, but in the worst cases, the product is contaminated with ingredients never listed in the first place, which appears to be the pattern to BD. In the United States, federal law requires that ingredients be listed on the label of any cosmetic. When products are imported unlawfully, sometimes they won't have that label, but remember, these skin creams will have dermal absorption. It wouldn't be abnormal for someone to use them and then somehow touch a kitchen countertop or handle food eaten by other members of the household, which would expose them too to mercury, causing a toxic response. And remember, mercury poisoning, especially from the carbon-containing organic mercury, has a delayed onset. By the time one experiences symptoms, it's already too late because it's already absorbed into their body and there's no way to reliably remove what's settled in their organs. Always check the label on cosmetics and always exercise caution with products, especially ones that may have been brought into the country unlawfully. For BB, after extensive subsummer treatment and a very long hospital stay at various institutions, she was still not able to speak for herself. She wasn't able to care for herself, and she needed a feeding tube because she wasn't able to eat anymore, as she could not make a recovery. There's a lot of things that people will somehow get into their body that's unlawful, or maybe it's semi-lawful. Some of them I can more directly talk about, like this video, which I have available exclusively on Nebula. Nebula is a streaming service that was created by creators, and it's a place where we can make and publish videos and films and originals as we see them. There's cases that I would totally get in trouble talking about here, but they are and will be on Nebula. We got shows, documentaries, films, plays, and Nebula is able to offer this thanks to funding that comes in from subscribers who, in addition to getting all of these, also get early access to these creators' regular videos ad-free. My chemistry buddy Niall Red posts his videos early ad-free on Nebula. But this isn't just videos that you'll find on YouTube earlier. It's also exclusives and originals. In an afternoon, I watched all of Joe Scott Presents Mysteries of the Human Body. Speaking of things that somehow get into people's bodies, I really like this episode. Weird stuff that might be inside you right now. And also the scientific aspect of this episode. Why can't we stop death? And there's more than just science originals. There's history, film, culture, news, travel, money, urbanism, animation, tech, and a lot. Come join us. If you sign up at nebula.tv/chubbyemu, which is the link in the description, you'll receive a big 40% off a yearly subscription, which is $30 for the year, $250 a month. And you'll get full access to the whole.
Alright, and then we got one more little thing from this bin.
But Nebula is entirely owned by creators, so that lifetime subscription goes towards funding Nebula creators. There's a whole lot of cool projects, Nebula originals currently in production, and we just launched a film studio. We're growing, and we're becoming a home for independent creativity. See you there, nebula.tv/chubby. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and be well. A family ate one-year-old frozen leftovers for breakfast. This is what happened to their organs. DC.
This guy will make you scared of everything.
Presenting to the emergency room with nausea, vomiting, and diffuse bleeding. He tells the admitting physician that a burning sensation had permeated just below his chest when he got to work that morning, and then very quickly, pain started to consume his entire body. Earlier that day, DC was having breakfast with his kids. All three adult children had been home for the holiday, and to commemorate the first morning on the day back to work and school, DC's wife, MC, prepared a little something special. DC and MC were from a town where fermented corn noodles were a local tradition. A year earlier, MC had prepared a batch of these noodles for a special occasion. During preparation, everything was fine. The noodles looked, tasted, and smelled totally okay, so absolutely everything was no problem. She packed them up.
Kind of why I watch it all. It just is different.
A year before she prepped them for this special holiday breakfast. The older son, Ace, really despised these noodles. Ever since he was a kid, he couldn't stand the texture. They were served in a sour soup that he just couldn't handle. The taste was always off-putting to him, so during this meal, he elected to have his potato chips instead. Sitting across from him, and the complete opposite, was his younger sister, SC, who who loved the news. She loved to make fun of this older brother of hers who just wasn't having any of it. Despite being working adults earlier in their career, they were still children in their parents' eyes, and they still fought like they did when they were children. To SC, her brother's loss was simply her gain. And it wasn't only her gain. The youngest, BC, maybe the parents' favorite, was still a college student, and he intensely...
Can you grab me coffee while you're up?
He loved them as a kid, and this
It's
time
in the
was really
freezer.
something special, because they were extra delicious this time. He not
Thank
only
you.
finished his share, but his parents kept
What
giving
time
him
is it? Is it almost
It
time?
was so delicious, and he ate so fast that he almost choked up. The breakfast was a great time that the family had together, but finally it was over. Holiday had come and gone. It was time to go back to work and school. DC, as head of household, left first for the office. He felt full and satisfied at such a fantastic breakfast. BC, the youngest, left to head back to his college dorm so he could study for an upcoming quiz. Ace had to head out back to his apartment in the neighboring city, but not without making fun of his sister SC on the way out. And finally, SC had to go get ready for work herself as Mother MC stayed back to clean up, happy that everyone enjoyed a delicious and nutritious celebratory breakfast. And everything was great, but in less than an hour, something was wrong. While she was putting away the dishes, MC started feeling bloated. At first, it was just abdominal discomfort, but a piercing sensation started rippling through her body, and she needed to sit down. She felt like her head was pounding. Getting up, MC tried to wash the dishes, but her legs felt weak, and she felt her guts quake and shake like they were trying to squeeze everything that she had just eaten back up. When she was finished, she went over to the couch to try and relax because she...
It's 5:54. I'll probably eat some more stuff. Thank you. I'm probably gonna eat some more stuff here shortly before I do my show, Christian. Maybe it'll be enough for me to...
Bruh, every now and then the internet hands me a story so wild, I gotta sit down, breathe a little bit, and ask myself, yo, how did we even get here? Because what started as regular Michael Jackson tributes, innocent moonwalks, Lil Glove, Lil Lean, somehow turned into a whole Clone Wars situation. I'm talking full-blown identity confusion, beef, jealousy, plastic surgery receipts, and a dude who actually told people Michael Jackson looks like him. Yeah, I know. Hold on, we gonna get into it. And once the new MJ biopic dropped this trailer, oh, it was over. That's when these impersonators started unraveling like cheap weave in the rain. Faces falling, egos breaking, whole careers flashing before their eyes. One man's reaction alone could have powered TikTok for a week straight. Today, we're taking a trip into one of the strangest corners of the internet, where grown men fight over who's the real Michael, who deserves the spotlight, and who reshaped their whole face just to run from themselves. Stay right here.
This makes me laugh so much.
And funnier, and way more uncomfortable than you think. The Vegas moment that started Clone Wars. You gotta understand something. This whole story doesn't start with drama, doesn't start with leaks, doesn't start with surgeries. It starts with a random Tuesday in Vegas where nobody asked for chaos, and chaos still clocked in. So picture this. One MJ impersonator is out there dancing for tips, minding his business, probably just trying to pay rent. You know, normal hustle.
Good job. Really good job.
And out of nowhere, Fabio walks up like he heard the Thriller bass line calling him from the sky. And the stance was crazy. Arms folded, neck tilted, feet planted like he owned the sidewalk. Bruh looked like he was silently telling the other impersonator, yo, wrap it up, Junior. Daddy's home. People passing by were confused. He didn't say a word, he didn't smile, he didn't give a nod. He just inserted himself like a badly timed cameo. And what made it worse, the confidence was unmatched. The delusion.
That's so funny.
The Timing off by 4 galaxies. Then he decides he gonna dance too. Lord, it looked like someone pressed the wrong button on a video game character. Movement stiff, rhythm missing, the magic absent. He had all the intensity and none of the talent.
Oh no.
It was like watching a bootleg Michael moonwalk on a sticky floor. The internet saw this clip and erupted instantly. Comments like, bruh thinks Michael left him the keys to Neverland. Dude acting like the other impersonator is copying him. This is parody of a parody.
You ever see that video of the fake Michael crossing his arms and looking together? Like,
He's a real Michael. Look at this picture right there.
And here's the real kicker. Most impersonators do the character for entertainment, right? They clock in, clock out. But Fabio, nah. This man clocked in and never clocked out. And once that clip went viral, the ego started forming like a villain origin.
That's so fucking funny to me. Why is it so funny to me?
How Fabio became the internet's favorite meme after Vegas. Bruh didn't slow down. He accelerated into the persona like he had something to prove. Every single video he posted had that same soft, whispery voice, that same breathy tone, like he permanently inhaled glitter. People in the comments were like, does he talk like this at the DMV? Does his real voice even exist? Then came the selfies, the lives, the mirror videos, same mannerisms, same tilt of the head, same energy like he practiced in front of a Senate candle. And that's when the internet stepped in and said, I'm studying this dude. And they started making clips and memes and edits. Bro became viral in the wrong way. Not for being talented, but for being unintentionally hilarious. People called him DLC Michael, AI-generated thriller era, the final form of delusion.
That's so funny.
Here's the insane part. He loved the attention. Instead of chilling out, he started posting more, leaning deeper into the character, talking like Michael, moving like Michael, acting like Michael, every single day. He wasn't just impersonating, he was absorbing. You could see the line between tribute and identity starting to blur, but nothing exposed the obsession more than his reaction to the one thing he didn't expect, the family-approved biopic, the biopic trailer that destroyed his fantasy. When that official biopic trailer dropped, oh God, bruh, the internet witnessed a full ego collapse in HD. The moment Jafar Jackson, actual family, actual DNA, actual connection, showed up on screen, Fabio's soul left his body. You could see it.
You'd think he would be happy for him.
Eyes wide, jaw dropped, a little twitch in the eyebrow. Dude looked like he was watching someone steal his future. And you gotta understand, for years, he's been acting like the closest living link to Mike. The voice, the clothes, poses, the surgeries, the whole vibe. He built this cocoon around himself. Then Jafar stepped in and effortlessly did what he's been trying to force. Fans zoomed in, slowed it down, and turned it into a whole forensic analysis. One comment said, this is the exact frame he realized he's not the chosen.
Stop. Look at me. You're not him.
Another said, someone called IT support. This man's identity buffer just crashed. And he didn't even fake excitement. Didn't cheer, didn't smile, didn't say, wow, nothing. Just pure, unfiltered envy leaking through the screen. But instead of staying quiet, bruh opened his mouth in a follow-up video and made everything worse. The follow-up video that made everything worse. When he came back to explain his reaction, he looked like he hadn't slept all week. Voice shaky, energy defensive, tone irritated. He starts talking about how he's real, how he doesn't overreact like other YouTubers, how people are twisting his vibe. Bruh, no one twisted anything. Your face told the whole story. He tries to play it off like, oh, it's just the voice that surprised me. Oh, I don't fake reactions for views. Oh, I was being genuine. But every word had this tint of jealousy, this little tremble, this passive-aggressive frustration that Jafar got the blessing he always wanted. And the more he talked, the worse it sounded. It was like watching someone lose control of a narrative they thought they owned.
So this is about my reaction to the Michael biopic. It's not to say anything. As you saw, my reaction was when I heard the voice. When I heard it, the next when it became real to me. And it was something to be very different. I'm sorry if I don't react like your casual, normal YouTuber, streamer, or Twitch streamers, or whatever, they be hyper-connected, just the views. Me, I am very real about this.
And he thought this would help him recover, but nah, it exposed more cracks. Then, out of nowhere, he brings up his nose. Why? Why would you bring up your nose after getting cooked online?
Are you serious right now, bro?
Because that nose comment opened the biggest can of worms the internet had seen from him yet. The plastic surgery receipts and Thriller nose cast. Bruh, this part is legendary internet history. Full Greek tragedy energy. He says, with a straight face, I didn't do my nose to look like Michael. I just like the style.
Okay, I think I mentioned this before, but I did my nose, okay, not to look closer to Michael, but because I liked the style, okay, the nose style.
Stop the cap.
Then, as if the universe wanted him exposed, he pulls out a Thriller-era nose cast like it's a family heirloom, holding it up, showing the doctor's reference, explaining the angles, the triangular tip, everything that proved he copied the man down to the cartilage.
This was the reference. This was the reference. And this is a real cast of Mike from the Thriller. This is what I want. Still have that support on my tip and the triangular look.
And the internet said, oh, so you're confessing lies?
So that was a lie.
People stitched the denial and the cast clips side by side like a courtroom exhibit. Meme captions everywhere. Exhibit A, self-snitching in 4K. Bruh, you lied mid-sentence. And here's the wildest part. He still tried to spin it. He said Michael looked like him in that era.
I didn't do my face. Does it look like I did my face? No. I was born like this. Michael doesn't look like me like this. He looked like Michael made himself to be. Okay? I look like that part, that era, that age. So I'm the original. This is my look, and I claim it 100%.
He reversed the timeline like we ain't got photos, videos, history, everything. What's even crazier? Fans now realize this wasn't admiration anymore. This was obsession, rewritten as destiny. Like he genuinely believed he was the blueprint. And just when the internet thought he hit maximum delusion, the leaked messages surfaced and took everything to a whole different level. The DMs that pushed the internet over the edge. Just when everybody thought this saga reached peak delusion, oh no, the internet said hold my drink. Because suddenly, screenshots start dropping. And not just any screenshots, but messages where this man actually claims that Michael Jackson looks like him. Bruh, you know how insane you gotta be to flip the entire timeline like that? That's like a dude cosplaying Spider-Man saying, actually Stan Lee based Peter Parker. It makes zero sense. Negative sense. Fans went crazy. MJ communities were stitching the messages, breaking down the grammar like it was ancient scripture, comments everywhere, final boss of delusion. He thinks he invented Michael. This is identity fraud on spiritual levels, and these weren't subtle messages either. He was confidently typing like he discovered a hidden chapter in the Bible. There was ego, entitlement, a weird chosen one energy, like he believed destiny handpicked him to complete MJ's last form. And the timing, even crazier. These messages started circulating right as the biopic hype was peaking. So now it looked like he was trying to hijack the spotlight during Michael's biggest moment in years. But then things took an even weirder turn, because people started digging into his online footprint and found rumors that had MJ fans losing their minds. The spicy content allegations and community discomfort. Out of nowhere, allegations start popping up. Screenshots, comments, claims from fans. Nothing officially confirmed, but enough discussion to freak people out. Because fans were saying bruh had an OnlyFans type account, dressed as Michael Jackson, doing content that absolutely no one asked for. Just imagine, moonwalking naked, white glove in the wrong place.
Oh no.
Sending reactions to people's pics. Bruh, what?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Even MJ fans, who are low-key some of the most dedicated people on the planet, said, okay, this crossed all lines. Comments like, this is disrespectful on 15 levels. Michael never asked for this. How you sexualize a tribute. People started feeling genuinely uncomfortable because it wasn't just cringe anymore. It felt like he was weaponizing the MJ persona for clout, attention, and whatever else he was doing behind that paywall. And with all these receipts stacking, the fandom was ready to explode. But before the fans even finished dragging him, something else happened. Something he didn't expect at all. The impersonators themselves stepped in. And that's when this turned into a legitimate war. The impersonator community finally snaps.
You say that, yo, I didn't get surgery to look like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson got surgery to look like me. So, and I'm like, that's the only thing So I'm the original. This is my look, and I claim it 100%.
This was the craziest twist, because instead of random fans roasting him, the other Michael Jackson impersonators finally had enough. One of the biggest voices was Michael Trapson, aka Parody King, Meme Machine, MJ cosplay veteran. He gets online and basically says, we gotta chill, we gotta support the biopic, it's not about us. Which is ironic as hell because Trapson is out here doing trap MJ music videos. But even he said Fabio was wild.
Y'all should put Michael Trapson here. I just want to say, if you're a Michael Jackson fan, fanatic, looking like TV, impersonator, influencer, whatever you are, man, I believe that we should all support the Michael Jackson biopic film because at the end of the day, man, it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about my opinion. It's not about who looks the most like Michael Jackson, who sounds the most like Michael Jackson, who dances the most like Michael Jackson, between anybody in the community. No, this is about Michael Jackson.
When the parody guy calls you delusional, you already lost. And then more impersonators chimed in. People who spent years learning choreography, studying vocals, perfecting tributes. They were all like, this man is making us look insane. This is not what tribute is about. He's acting like he's the heir to the throne. You could feel the embarrassment. They were tired of one dude turning their whole community into a reality TV show. Tired of him acting like the biopic should have been his movie. Tired of the attitude, the delusion, the DMs, the memes, the ego. And the internet loved it. People were calling it Clone Wars, MJ Edition, Michael Jackson Multiverse Beat, Moonwalker Civil War. Something serious started creeping in. People were beginning to see how deep this obsession ran. Because the more you looked at Fabio, the clearer it became. This wasn't a tribute anymore. This was an identity crisis unraveling in real time. The psychology of losing yourself in a legend. Here's where the story dips into real life. Real psychology. Real pain. Real obsession. A lot of impersonators do it for fun. Dance, perform, take pictures, entertain families. But Fabio, he wasn't slipping into a persona. He was slipping out of his own. Every pose, every whisper, every surgery, every DM claiming he's the original. It all pointed to someone who didn't just admire Michael, he was escaping into him. Like being Fabio wasn't enough. Like Michael's identity felt safer, stronger, more lovable, more acceptable. The internet started openly asking, what makes someone reshape their entire face to become someone else? What happens when fantasy becomes the new reality? Is this tribute or trauma? And honestly, that's the part that hit people different. Because you could see him losing grip. Not maliciously, not intentionally, but like he was disappearing into a shadow he could never truly feel.
He is doomed.
That's why the biopic hurt him so much. Jafar Jackson didn't need surgeries. He didn't need DMs. He didn't need cosplay. He simply stepped into a legacy that's already his. Which brings us right into the final, most powerful contrast. Because the story ends with a lesson about legacy, insecurity, and why trying to become a legend will always leave you empty. Legacy versus cosplay. Why Jafar won and why Fabio never could. The final nail, the thing that closed the case, was how effortlessly Jafar Jackson brought Michael to life. He didn't mimic. He didn't overact. He didn't push too hard. He became the role because he carries that legacy in his DNA, in his voice, in his family history. It's authentic, natural, and respectful.
I get a lot of you know, they were out there entertaining me. And they were good. But also people that tried. But your father wasn't entertaining like that. That's the thing. And so for the first time, we saw tears came down like, no, stop crying. They don't really know. That's how good he was.
Wow. What Fabio tried to force, Jafar just is. And fans felt it. That first trailer had grown people crying, literally crying, because for the first time in decades, they saw a piece of Michael that felt real again. No gimmicks, no plastic, no wannabe energy, just truth. Meanwhile, Fabio was online rewriting history, arguing with fans, flexing nosecasts, defending lies, and spiraling deeper into a character that never belonged to him. And that's when the lesson hit everybody. You can imitate a legend, but you can't replace one, because you'll always be chasing a shadow, not building your own life. And once that shadow swallows your identity, you're gone.
Don't do it to me. I beg you. No.
The internet didn't clown him because he loved Michael. They clowned him because he tried to be Michael and lost himself in the process. And that's exactly why this entire Clone Wars moment matters. Not because it's funny, but because it shows how easy it is to disappear inside someone else's greatness. You know, when you step back from all this noise, all the memes, all the screenshots, all the ego battles, all the auditions happening on random street corners, something deeper starts to show. Because this ain't really about Michael Jackson. It's about what happens when somebody spends so long pretending they forget how to be themselves. Impersonators usually do this out of love, out of nostalgia, out of tribute, out of respect. But somewhere along the way, Fabio crossed that line. Not out of evil, not out of hate, but out of fear. Fear of not being enough on his own. Fear of not being seen unless he was wearing someone else's face. And that part right there, that hit me a little different. Because it shows how easy it is to get lost in somebody else's shadow when you don't like your own reflection. Bruh built a whole life imitating a legend. But legends ain't meant to be imitated. They're meant to be honored, respected, and then left alone while you build your own lane. And that's why Jafar won without even trying. He didn't force anything, didn't cosplay, didn't fight strangers online, didn't pull out nosecasts like Pokemon cards. He just showed up with authenticity, something you can't buy, can't mimic, can't surgery your way into. At the end of the day, you can impersonate a legend, but you can't replace one. And the harder you try to replace greatness, the more you expose the emptiness inside yourself. So yeah, the memes are funny, the drama is wild, but underneath all this, we're watching a man slowly disappear into a character he was never meant to be. That's the real tragedy of this whole Clone Wars mess. Alright, y'all, that's enough madness for today. But let me ask you something. When does a tribute stop being love and start being a replacement for the person you're scared to become? Think about that. Drop your answer in the comments. If you vibe with this breakdown, if it made you laugh, made you think, made you side-eye every impersonator you ever seen, then go watch the video that just popped up on your screen right now. I'll see you on the next one. Hand it out.
Why would somebody want to be Michael Jackson of all people?
First, it slams the gas on protein synthesis.
That's what I don't understand. Like, why would somebody want to be Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson had such a hard life. Yeah, but he had such a hard life to be able to get there. Oh my god. Like, he was so abused as a young child. Like, why? Why would anyone try to emulate that behavior? Like, you can appreciate someone all you want, but why try to be them? That's weird. Like, I never understood impersonators of other people. I've always found it creepy. Like that one Ariana Grande lady who then has an OnlyFans as Ariana Grande. That's weird. Like, you never know what these people are like. This is so creepy. If somebody did that to you, how would you feel? You know, like, wouldn't you be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I would think it would be terrifying if somebody tried to be me. I would just think it would be awful. And then to sexualize yourself as that other person, like, that's even more weird. Like, it's just awkward.
Don't get me wrong. Most steroid users, including bodybuilders like Rich, are also putting in serious work.
Like, I get hating yourself. Like, I do. I understand that. I understand you want to be literally somebody else but you, but you don't even know the person personally that you're impersonating. So, like, what? Like, they probably wouldn't even like you. You might not have, you might meet the person that you're, you know, and you might not even like them at all as people. You might hate them as a person.
Sometimes lasting half a day, were a recipe for rhabdomyolysis, a severe condition where muscle cells break down.
Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, you could very well just hate the person that you're trying to impersonate. Like, if you met them in real life, they could literally hate you, and you might hate them. And to base your whole identity on somebody that you don't even know, that you've never even, like, talked to or met like that, is crazy to me. That's what's so ridiculous to me. Because they could literally out and out fucking hate you. And then you could be so disappointed, and then what? So you don't even have yourself. Then you look like this person that probably doesn't even like you. Like, how sad. Like, would you even have anything in common with a person? No. Like, if you met them, would they even like you? Would you even like them? And then you're trying to be them. Like, it's weird. Anyone. It doesn't matter. Anyone. I don't care if it's a cartoon character. I don't care. Like, what if the creator wouldn't even like you? Like, it's weird. And then the people that try to impersonate fake people who aren't even real. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. Grow up. It's it's okay to associate yourself with somebody. Like, that is fine. It's okay to relate to somebody and the stuff that they talk about in music. Or, like, anything. Or in general. But to just want to be them. Take their whole identity away from them. Just so you can bastardize it. And you can have your own version of whatever you think that... You don't know them behind closed doors. They don't know you. Maybe it's because I live in reality. Maybe I'm just no fun. You know? Like, maybe I'm just no fun. What do I get out of television shows? Well, do you see me watching much? Do you see me watching many television shows? No, you don't. So nothing. I don't. They don't resonate with me. They don't resonate. It's non-applicable to me. A lot of them, I don't really watch it. Christian, he watches a lot of the stuff. With me, I don't watch it. I don't get really much out of any of that. To be honest, I don't. I'm just waiting until your mom's out of the kitchen so I can make my food. Huh? Okay. I just don't want to be in her way. I know she's been busy there all day, so I just don't want to be in her way at all. Who? Becomes a sausage? Oh. I'm just saying, I mean, I don't really have that need to, I guess I think it's weird. Should I? I don't know, but I do. Christian, I was talking about these impersonators, and it's like, you don't even know if these people would even like you or if you would even like them, and to base your whole identity around them is fucking nuts. Like, these people just in general. Don't you think it's fucking crazy? No, just in general, I just think it's crazy. No, I mean, you could, I don't care what you say, but, you know, it's just one of those, I just think it's crazy. You know what? Here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my bead lizards in here so we have a spare box. And then, my other thing, what I can do, is I can put these in there too, so I have a spare box. These strings or whatever. Consolidation, Christian. Woo! Then my dragons over here. Okay, what do I do for these dragons? Do I do every 10 packs? You can get one of these. Okay. I was gonna say every 10 you can get one of these. These ones are the green ones.
I think these are special.
That's what I'll do. Every 10 I'll do one of these.
Don't even have to say anything. You don't get marketed.
I will.
Just add it in after the fact. Surprise.
Yeah, that's probably true. Surprising's always nice. Well, we got this left to sort. We've sorted all these. It just makes my life a little bit easier.
You just need a place to put them.
Right there. Gonna be doing my show and doing those. That's the whole point. Alright, I'm gonna be getting off of this, you guys, just real quick, because I'm gonna be getting ready for my show. I'm gonna be making some adjustments on my inventory here. Love you guys. I'll be on Whatnot, though. You guys can see me there. I might do a stream, too, but I'm gonna be on there for a while.